This is a true crime discussions channel. We speculate. This is all just speculation.
Yeah, I apologize. I got to figure out how to. I got YouTube Premium and like I can't download my videos now. And that's how I was doing my missing children's video. Let me fix this real quick so I can get our videos ready. And I'm going to come over and say hey to all you guys. I apologize about that again. Hey, Abellis and Sarah and Bad Girl and Eek and Jenny and Trixie and Anders and Bear and Marshmallow and Corey. Hello. Hello, Kitty. Hi, all you lovely people. Thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate that. Today, I'm still scrolling through to see who else is here. Zio, thank you for being here. Solistic Glow, thank you. Thank you all for being here. You guys are amazing. Thank you. Today we are going to go over the videos that people have been talking about. We will start with the jail records and then we will go over the poem video. Everybody has been talking about these videos. I've had actually a couple of different thoughts since I put out the poem video. I've got a couple of different thoughts on that as to what it could be. So I wanted to start by going over these. I'll go ahead and get us ready. Okay, so this is going to start off pretty much where we need to start off. So we're going to streaming me. And with that, I'll get started. So I'm going to go over those with you guys now. This is from Osceola Corrections Department. It's an incident report. The type of incident is informational. The inmate's name is Stephen Stearns, and the reporting staff member is Roark. The narrative says, on the above date and approximate time, inmate Stearns, Stephen, was placed on something status by Nurse Tiltonson. Yes, I saw that we're almost at 3,000 subs, and I am absolutely blown away. My lovely mod Jenny Jen, who wrote that, has been here since day one, and I do want to appreciate that. I do want to say I appreciate that. And I really appreciate all you people coming over from Plunder and Alex Ericson, I think, have mentioned me so far. And I want to say thank you for that. I am working on another document to get out. Joy, thank you for being here. I don't know if I said your name, love. I'm working on getting another video out, but I don't know if you can tell, but I'm very sick today. And my voice is off, and I don't want to record a voice with it being off. I might scare all the new people away. So I am working on that, but I'll have to wait until my voice gets a little better to record that. Hey, Indie girl, thank you for being here. Due to the nature of his charges, inmate Stearns has been charged with sexual battery of a victim 12 to 17 years of age, possession of child pornography, and sexual battery, victim under 12 years of age. Inmate Stearns completed the booking process. Inmate Stearns was secured in hand restraints and escorted to BC by Sergeant Roark and Corporal Williams. Inmate Stearns was placed in BC3A, where the hand restraints were removed. A strip search was conducted by Corporal Williams, which resulted in no contraband being found. Inmate Stearns was issued a clean dignity garment and a clean mattress, and the cell door was secured. A 15-minute special confinement watch form was initiated. Inmate Stearns' property was... I wanted to tell y'all a dignity garment's going to be that paper outfit that he wore. So when he first got there, he was in paper for a period of time before he was allowed to like have his regular, jail issued uniform. Intervention during the booking process and secured in the property room. Inmate Stearns will remain on, more than likely it says unaliving, observation until cleared by the mental health department. This concludes my involvement in this incident. And that person swore and affirmed that this was true.
So these are his call records. I had to erase the phone numbers, but when we zoom in over here, you can see how long he talked. I can tell you there were a couple of numbers that popped up. Most of them are like 864 seconds.
902, I think it's seconds. It might be minutes. But no, that would be like ridiculous. Yeah, it's seconds. 897 seconds, 874 seconds, 978 seconds, 864 seconds. All of that was his dad. I was able to look up the phone numbers, and I'm going to tell you that in a second. I can't figure out who he's calling on these burner phones, but I think he only got in touch with them one time, and he talked for like 864 seconds to one of the 3 burner phone numbers one time.
Up. Here, we'll start over here. You can see the start time and then the inmate ID and the last name. Tells us the phone number and then the amount of time they talked. Okay. I'll scroll back over here so you can see start time, all the days he talked, and then how long he talked.
I did just drop the StreamYard link for anybody that wants to join. I will try to pin it at the top of the comment section if my phone will let me.
Now, there were several numbers that popped up. 3 of them were to burner phones. 2 I could not get any information on. One was out of Fort Myers, Florida. What I can tell you is the person he talks to the most was his father. He called his father on his cell phone and at work. There are several times. There's some more start times and inmate ID numbers. All of these that say talk seconds that are 0, that's where he just picked the phone up and didn't call anybody. There was no number there or anything. Here it is on these. So I don't know why he's just picking the phone up and not talking to anybody or dialing any number, but
in the comment section of this video, people told me, and I don't know why I didn't think about it, but he's probably just doing that so he doesn't have to go back in the cell. So that was an explanation for why he's doing that, just like sitting there holding the phone so he doesn't necessarily have to go back in the cell.
he was. That's all I was able to find out about the phone calls.
This is the visitation log. So his dad visited him on March 5th, 2024. It started at 12:40 and then it ended at 1:10. And that was the visit ID. So this is the jail book agency, OCJ, and then it gives us the number, the name and number. Stephen Michael Stearns, white male, gives us his date of birth, and he's confined in Orange County Sheriff's Office. He was agency that booked him was.
I got a little tongue-tied during this. We're going to hear about all his lovely activities he's been doing since he's been incarcerated.
The Osceola County Sheriff's Office. The booking type is inmate booking. The initial booking date is March 1st. The last intake date is March 1st. And the PREA is March 3rd. He's pending submission to prosecuto. His required bond is 0 because he doesn't have a bond. His charge for housing, did they charge for housing and non-custody booking? And both of those say no. It says additional information. So it's going from most recent to the oldest. So we're going to scroll down here and start at the beginning and then continue up. So on Friday, March 1st, it's redacted, continuous physical observation, no camera, no razors, dignity garment until cleared by mental health. Friday, March 1st, a uniform, a wool blanket, a low bunk.
So yeah, we're going to talk about basically these are the CO's notes for every day up until I think October 15th. Hello Kitty says, I hit the like. Thank you so much for that. I try not to ask y'all. I know y'all know to hit the like button when you come into somebody's stream. But I'll ask you real quick, if you don't mind, please hit the thumbs up so we get out into the algorithm and more people can come join our little speculating family.
In a low tier, and then it's redacted. Friday, March 1st, he was seen by mental health and placed in acutely unaliving watch. Saturday, March 2nd, he was housed alone temporarily, and he was seen by mental health to continue acute unaliving watch. Sunday, March 3rd, he was moved to maximum custody because his current charge is sexual battery by a custodian. Victim 12 to 17 years of age. Sexual battery by custodian. Victim under 12 years of age.
So those are two separate charges by a custodian. That means somebody in a parental role taking care of a child committed sexual battery. Now, the charge for 12 to 17 years of age is because we knew she was 13 and had just turned that age. So that would have been for anything that happened from the age of 13 back through the age of 12. And then there's another count for everything that happened from 12 years old and then back to however young she was when he started doing these horrific things to her, which I think, from what I've figured, she was about the age of 8. And like, I have a 9-year-old here, and I'm like, I mean, I'll never understand. That stuff's horrible. I don't understand. I've never understood things like that. That's horrific. That's a baby.
And he possessed or controlled or viewed depictions of child pornography. And it says no serious offense history, no IDPS, no holds. Okay. And then Monday, March 4th at 8:58, he continued acute observation.
Rooster, we're hoping that you are feeling okay. I know that you had gotten into a car wreck not too long ago. I hope that you're feeling okay. And Overprotected, we miss you. Rooster was sending you guys some good vibes. I mean, not Rooster. Bellis was sending you guys some good vibes. Hey, Dawn Young. Dawn Young says, "Hi, everybody. Can I just point out that March 6th is around the time Stearns had the interview together with police at their house, I believe. He's been to see him the 5th. That's interesting. She's talking about March 6th is around the time Chris Stearns had the interview with the police at their house, and he went to see him on the 5th. I had not picked up on that. Thank you for pointing that out, Dawn."
Wednesday, March 6th at 12:07, he cleared acute observation, continued non-acute. He was given a uniform and a wool blanket, no razors, remain in BABC under direct observation, no camera, per mental health /AC. Okay, Wednesday, March 6th at 12:17, so 10 minutes later, he was housed alone. Wednesday, March 6th at 13:35, it's redacted. Thursday, March 7th at 19:09, classifications interview was completed. Inmate states he will, quote, probably want special population. Request packet to be completed once cleared by mental health from non-acute status.
He was like, I'll probably want special population. Dawn says, when you put these videos in order, the context changes. On my Madeline Soto playlist, I tried my very best to put everything in order, and I think I've got it in order, but I'm not positive. But yeah, I tried really hard to get everything in order. Hey, Paranormal, there you are. Bellis, you summoned them.
Friday, March 8th at 9:24, he continued non-acute observation. He remained in BABC under direct observation, no camera, AC. Saturday, March 9th at 23:07, he was seen by mental health, no changes on current status. Sunday, March 10th at 10:21 is redacted. Sunday, March 10th at 22:08, he was seen by mental health. No changes made at this time. Tuesday, March 12th at 9:30, he continued non-acute observation. He was okay for continuous observation or camera view with 15-minute checks. Tuesday, March 12th at 9:34, he was okay to use rolling phone per mental health /AC. Tuesday, March 12th at 11:29, he was medically clear to work. Tuesday, March 12th at 15:35, he was medically cleared for inmate worker, inside, outside kitchen, not eligible due to nature of current charges.
Could you imagine him being a trustee in the kitchen? I would be concerned, especially with the information we're going to find out in a minute.
Wednesday, March 13th at 13:13, case, and it gives the case number, encompassed into another case. Thursday, March 14th at 8:49, he continued non-acute observation. Saturday, March 16th at 8:45, he continued non-acute observation. Saturday, March 16th at 8:46, inmate took morning medication and ate breakfast. No issues to report. At March 16th, 23:01, inmate rehoused. Message number 4 to make space for acute inmate.
Hey, Cara, Sigourney, says new person here from the Jen Soto subreddit. Oh, wow. Awesome. Thank you for being here. I didn't know, did the Jen Soto, subreddit mention us? And thank you for being here. Hey, Maligator. Thank you for being here, love.
Monday, March 18th at 8:22, his uniform exchange was completed. At 8:22, his uniform exchange was completed. Monday, March 18th at 8:50, he continued non-acute observation and it was okay to utilize the phone per mental health. Tuesday, March 19th at 7:13, he was okay to have books per mental health. Thursday, March 21st at 18:20, inmate received dinner tray and juice.
Oh, wow. That's so awesome. I'll have to go tell them thank you. We're going to go over that video next. Thank you for letting me know, and thank you for being here.
Thursday, March 21, 1842, he received a shower on night shift, toiletries taken and set aside for future use. Thursday, March 21st at 1847, cell search conducted.
Dawn says, for instance, Deborah says she's in an institution, but in their police interview, both Jen's roommates and Jen said that Jen had been at her sister's this whole time. Why did Debbie lie? I don't know. That's a good question. I didn't pick up on that either. Y'all pick up on some things I don't. People have been mentioning me, and I really appreciate that, you guys. Y'all are amazing. Oh, Rooster, I don't know what's going on. I missed that, but I hope you feel better. Dawn says he was getting threats. That's why he's hiding and pretending to be on the phone. It's a good possibility.
Friday, March 22nd at 9:17, continued non-acute observation. Friday, March 22nd at 13:34, RSR completed, no concerns. Saturday, March 23rd at 21:01 is redacted. Saturday.
Abellis, thank you so much. Abellis just gifted 10 memberships. If you guys got a membership from her, please tell her thank you. Thank you so much, Abellis. I'm gonna play the clip for you. Thank you so much, Abellis. You are so sweet. Thank you. I really appreciate that. If you guys were given a membership from Abellis, please tell her thank you.
Saturday, March 23rd at 20:56, inmate refused dinner tray. Sunday, March 24th at 9:59 a.m., inmate refused shower. Sunday, March 24th at 17:53, inmate refused dinner tray. Tuesday, March 26th at 9 o'clock, they continued non-acute observation. Tuesday, March 26th at 18:26, inmate refused dinner tray, states he already has juice from previous meal. Thursday, March 26th at 18:49. While picking up dinner trays to be returned to kitchen, inmate asked if he could have his tray so that he can attempt to force himself to eat. I explained that when food trays are given to him, that he has to accept them at that time. He cannot pick and choose when he wants them. Inmate becomes sarcastic and says that he didn't know that social hour was over.
Can you imagine this little shit? I'm sorry, I shouldn't have said that. Can you imagine this little POS? Like, he didn't accept his dinner tray. He was like, no, I don't want to eat. I got juice. And then they get done eating and they take the dinner trays because they have to take them back to the kitchen to be washed. And he's like, I want it now. And she's like, well, I can't give it to you now because it's over. Like, the time to eat is over. And now I got to take the trays back. And he's like, I didn't know social hour was over. Boy, it'd be hard for me to work in that jail because I don't wanted to smack him with the damn dinner tray. Excuse my French.
Unquote. Thursday, March 28th at 15:38, inmate took a shower. Well, let us thank God for that. Friday, March 29th at 8:03, he continued non-acute observation.
Do y'all notice how many showers he's refusing? Like, I understand you're housed by yourself, but sir, I know people can be depressed too, but goodness gracious, somebody said he might be scared to take a shower. And then I would have to question, like, okay, is the shower like a stall by itself? And is he the only one out during shower time since he's in special population? Or is it like the open showers where they all shower together and is everybody that's on special population out at that time? Because that could be why he's not taking a shower. It would all depend on how the prison runs its jail,
Saturday, March 30th at 17:35, he refused to shower again. Monday, April 1st at 8:49, he continued non-acute observation. Tuesday, April 2nd at 20:17, his cell search was conducted. Thursday, April 4th at 8:31, they continued non-acute observation. Thursday, April 4th at 9:06, he was okay to have safety pen and writing materials per mental health. Thursday, April 4th at 12:02, inmate received a flex pen and puzzles authorized by mental health, and it gives the name of the person. Saturday, April 6th at 14:31, he was seen by mental health, no changes on status. Saturday, April 6th at 20:52, cell search conducted. Please be aware inmate has been chipping off the paint of the, Saturday, April 6th at 20:52, cell search conducted. Please be aware, inmate has been chipping off the paint off the walls and making balls with it. Inmate was told to stop, said he didn't understand why he couldn't have the balls, which in fact were very hard. After I explained why he could not have them, he didn't question any further and didn't say anything else.
Oh no, paranormal.
Sunday, April 7th at 12:28, inmate refused to shower. Tuesday, April 9th at 8:38, they continued non-acute observation. Thursday, April 11th at 9:10, they continued non-acute observation. Saturday, April 13th at 12:01, they continued non-acute observation. Monday, April 15th at 10:52, they continued non-acute observation. Monday, April 15th, he is okay to have trustee provide haircut and shave with clippers only. Okay to use nail clippers with direct supervision per mental health. Monday, April 15th, he was marked okay to have commissary per mental health. Wednesday, April 17th is completely redacted.
Paranormal.
Thursday, April 18th, he continued non-acute observation. Monday, April 22nd at 9:23, he was seen during mental health rounds and they continued non-acute observation.
Kara brought up a good point and said he's 100% going for an unaliving watch along with that traumatic brain injury causing him to not act like a normal adult, right? Yeah, he is ridiculous. Paranormal, you got the jokes today.
Wednesday, April 24th at 9:23, he continued non-acute observation. Wednesday, April 24th at 15:15, subject served added charges, so he just got hit with more charges on April 24th. Wednesday, April 24th at 1611, no change in custody level from added charge. Wednesday, April 24th at 2040, he was seen by mental health, no changes in current status.
So y'all might remember, but I'm not sure. Is that when he got hit with the unaliving charges, or was that a different charge? I'm wondering. And why, like, it was all the way in April. She was found in early March. And after watching, well, we'll talk about it during the poem interview, but I've got some questions about that unaliving charge he has.
April 25th, 9:45, continued non-acute observations. Sunday, April 28th at 11:32, they continued non-acute observations. Tuesday, April 30th at 5:35. During visual
Oh my
check,
goodness.
inmate was seen chipping paint off of walls and creating very hard balls. Inmate Stearns was counseled and these items were taken away. Wednesday, May.
Jenny says April was the charge for the unaliving. Okay. Yeah, I got some questions about that.
1st at 8:35, he was eating his breakfast and cooperating. Wednesday, May 1st at 14:17, while taking inmate out of cell, there were hard balls of paint. Inmate had already been counseled about this behavior. He stated he is bored. Zone supervisor notified. Saturday, May 4th at 10:06, reassessment completed and he remained in maximum security. Monday, May 6th.
Cara says that his lawyers are reportedly going for his traumatic brain injury to blame for all of this. And we know that when you get a damage to the frontal lobe, it can bring back primitive acting, like it can make you act more primitive, not have empathy or compassion or, care about somebody else. So I could understand why they would blame this traumatic brain injury for this. I still have some questions though, and we're going to talk about that.
At 9:48, he was seen during mental health rounds and he continued non-acute observation. Tuesday, May 7th at 9:01, inmate showered and received a new uniform on Charlie shift. Wednesday, May 8th at 12:11, he continued non-acute observation. Friday, May 10th at 10:22, they continued non-acute observation. May 10th at 14:54, he's allowed to make phone calls, allowed to have books. Monday, May 13th, he continued non-acute observation. Tuesday, May 14th, he used the kiosk to get commissary. Wednesday, May 15th at 9:38, he continued non-acute observation. Thursday, May 16th at 15:44, inmate refused shower and uniform exchange. Saturday, May 18th.
Excuse me, why are you refusing to even exchange your uniform? Stop it, sir. Get some help. Basil is laying on the bed, Abellis. He is just chilling. He is chillaxing.
8:15, he continued non-acute observation. Thursday, May 23rd at 2:34, inmate was rehoused to -1 due to Seg 4 being needed. Nurse Jackson approved the move and the supervisor was present. Thursday, May 23rd at 8:24, he continued non-acute observation. Thursday, May 28th at 9:48, he continued non-acute observation. Wednesday, May 29th at 8:06, inmate refused morning meal. Wednesday, May 29th at 11:02, inmate will be stepped down by mental health to close supervision. Remain in medical under camera view. Do not move from medical. Saturday.
When we get to the end of this and we go to the part where they talk about the poem, I'm going to flip to that video and then we'll come back to this.
June 1st, he was seen during mental health rounds, continued close supervision with 15-minute checks, remained housed alone. Sunday, June 2nd at 6:55, inmate refused breakfast tray. Wellness check conducted, all appears secure. Sunday, June 2nd at 13:08, inmate offered shower, but he refused.
I don't understand why he's refusing food and meals, like food and showers, excuse me. Like, you better eat that food. You ain't gonna get it but so many times a day. Like, I don't understand. Joy says he's scared to go out, but I don't think, I mean, if you're in protective custody, do you have to go out of the cell? Like, I would think, like, as far as the shower, yeah, he would have to go out of the cell, but for his food and stuff, like, they would give him that in his cell, I would think.
Thursday, June 4th at 8:37, he was seen during mental health rounds and they continued close supervision. Thursday, June 6th at 15:33, he
Anders says, is he supposed to work in the kitchen? Evidently, he's been cleared to be a trustee in the kitchen if he wanted to.
refused a shower. Monday, June 10th, he's seen during mental health rounds, continued close supervision. Friday, June 14th at 7:30, inmate showered on a shift. Tuesday, June 18th at 9:21, he's seen during mental health rounds and they continued close supervision. Tuesday, June 18th, he cleared close supervision. He's rehoused to CISO, administrator confinement, house alone per mental health, no razors. Tuesday, June 18th.
Kara said he's more than likely afraid of the other inmates messing with his food. I heard from former convicts that if they can't physically get him, they will get him through the food. That's possible. That's very possible. Dawn said, why is he not eating? Because he's buying food at the commissary. He's eating those Danishes. No doubt. He probably is.
18th at 16:09, per case conference meeting, Stearns is to be placed on protective custody status. Tuesday, June 20th at 13:12, his house alone status recommended. Thursday, June 20th at 14:48, per confinement review committee, inmate will remain in protective custody, house alone per case management. Sunday, June 23rd at 7:19, inmate refused morning meals on 6:21 and 6:22. Monday, June 24th at 6:58, inmate refused morning meal. Wednesday, June 26th at 15:36, per confinement review meeting, inmate will remain housed alone for safety reasons. Inmate has recreation with protective custody inmates only. Can have roommate only if the inmate is another protective custody person. Saturday, June 29th at 13:34, I am requested to use the tablet and was allowed to do so.
I got something for y'all when we read it again that he's not taking a shower.
Wednesday, July 3rd, per confinement review, this review meeting, inmate will remain protective custody housed alone for safety reason. Inmate has recreation with protective custody inmates only. Thursday, July 4th at 7:49, inmate was offered a shower and refused.
Ugh. Brother, ugh. What's that? What's that, brother?
There you go.
Monday, July 8th at 8:53, inmate was offered a shower and recreation and refused. Wednesday, July 10th, per confinement review meeting, inmate will remain in protective custody, housed alone for safety reason. Inmate has recreation with protective custody inmates only.
Hey, Pinto, I see them saying hey to you. If you're here, hey, love, thank you for being here. I didn't see you come in. There you are. Hey, thank you for being here, love.
That was July 10th. Tuesday, July 16th, notary provided. Thursday, July 18th, per confinement review meeting, inmate will remain protective custody housed alone for safety reasons. Inmate has recreation with protective custody inmates only.
Now that part, if he's refusing recreation, would tell me that he's afraid of the other inmates. Hello, SJ Sheila, and thank you for being here. SJ Sheila says, by refusing showers and change clothes, I think he's pouting, acting like a spoiled child. Probably. I could definitely agree with that.
Thursday, July 18th, point additive reassessment completed, classified medium, request override due to capital life felony charge. Thursday, July 18th, custody was returned to maximum due to nature of charges. Thursday, July 18th at 11:59, inmate has added charge of first-degree murder, which is a capital offense, and it gives us the case number. Thursday, July 18th at 17:44, inmate offered shower on beef shift, inmate refused.
Muted. Sorry. Don Young says, Bear, prepare yourself. I don't think Maddie was terrified. He convinced her they were a couple, and the police have only told us one thing about that, the coin, but they've got more. Yeah, I agree with that. I think that Maddie thought that they were a couple, and we're going to talk about another video that I had put out about something Nancy Grace had said, and go over that a little bit more. Do you know that they have more out, Dawn? Like, have they put anything out? Because if so, I'll try to grab it. Hey, Sub Rosa, and thank you for being here. Sub Rosa said he's like a petulant child. I didn't start it, Mom. Right? Definitely.
Tuesday, July 23rd at 7:23, inmate was offered on alpha shift and inmate refused. It doesn't say what, but I'm assuming a shower. Tuesday, July 23rd at 14:36, inmate went to recreation in the bullpen due to him being a protective custody inmate, zone supervisor notified. Tuesday, July 23rd at 16:49, inmate was given tablet on alpha shift.
Trixie said he's like a child. Didn't he complain about needing his candy? I don't know, but I imagine he complained about needing his medication, which would be adult candy.
Wednesday, July 24th, per confinement review meeting, inmate will remain protective custody housed alone for safety reasons. Inmate has recreation. Wednesday, July 24th, per confinement review meeting, inmate will remain protective custody housed alone for safety reasons. Inmate has recreation. Friday, July 26th at 7:07, inmate refused breakfast tray and shower. Saturday, July 27th at 5:57, inmate was offered a shower and refused on alpha shift. July 28th at 10:56, inmate refused breakfast and shower on alpha shift. Why does he keep refusing the shower? Goodness. Okay.
Again, just to put it out there, people are saying that because he doesn't want the inmates to basically get him in the shower. I would have to know the jail setup to know if that could be a possibility or not. Depends on how they make them shower there.
So Monday, July 29th at 19:05, informational. While conducting cell searches, a letter was found and given to zone supervisor. Be careful when doing cell searches. Inmate had yellow papers. Let me go ahead and insert that information right here.
Okay, in this video, I read part of it, but then I'm like, I don't think it says anything else. Like, I don't know why I did that, because I know better than that. I know that different police narratives say different things. So I'm going to go ahead and jump to the revised video that I had made after Plunder called me out. And we're going to watch the whole video, this part, and then we'll go back to that and continue reading that. This one is important. She wasn't certain, excuse me, and asked to see. So we're going to, I'm not going to go back to the part where Plunder called me out because I might cry. That was so sweet of for what she did. So we'll start at where probably like maybe right here. And we're going to listen to this poem confession. And I'm going to tell you, because I think I have kind of a different thought on it now that I've watched some other people go over this video and give us their thoughts about it. So we'll start right here. Because Wednesday, when I was out, I was like, you know what? Police narratives are not ever just repetitive. And in the video, I say it's just a repeat. And I knew better than that. I knew it wasn't. That's why I went ahead and flipped to this video, because I did that in the other video. And I was like, yeah, I probably shouldn't have done that. I should have looked a little closer. And I was like, maybe I should go recheck those records to see if it's a repeat or not. But I never got around to it. So we're referencing the records that I got from the jail. And I'm trying to get these over to her, like everything they sent me, so she can go through it. So I'm going to read everything to you again just to kind of pick back up where we were. This is referencing the letter in particular. If you haven't seen the first video I did on this, it is called Stern's Jail Records, I do believe. It's got a picture of him in a jail cell. So we're going, that's the first video is the one we just went over. Going back to this document, and it states that the type of incident is informational. It was on July 29th, 2024 at 14:50 hours. The inmate's name was Stephen Stearns. They give us his ID number. His housing pod is C-pod. The incident number, the ID, and the reporting staff member was Vargas. The narrative states, on the above date and approximate time, I was assigned to the C-pod housing unit officer. At approximately 14:50 hours, I was conducting random cell searches in Charlie Pod while searching the cell of inmate Stephen Stearns. I noticed some yellow pieces of notebook paper. This caught my attention because yellow paper is not commonly found in our facility. After finishing the search of the cell, I asked another officer to confirm the presence of the yellow paper, and he also found it unusual. Just as we were about to wrap up, Corporal Dinko entered the pod. I inquired with her about whether yellow paper was permitted. She wasn't certain, and asked to see the papers in question. I then requested inmate Stearns to hand over the papers, which he did. I asked an inmate how he obtained the yellow paper, to which he stated his attorney had provided him with a few blank yellow papers on a prior date. One of the papers turned out to be a handwritten poem labeled for Maddie. I showed this note to Corporal Dinko. That concludes what I was involved in during this incident. Somebody had commented, and I just wanted to bring this up, like, why are they going off about yellow paper? And I told them, and I'm going to tell y'all, the reason they're so weird about, like, even just a different color paper being there is because, like, everything, when you go to jail, everything's the same. Like, if you buy paper, it's all the same paper. Everybody gets the same paper. If you buy a pen, it's all the same pen. Everybody gets the same pen. People, like attorneys or mental health and things, are not allowed to bring stuff in and give them to you. If you buy a pack of color pencils, they're all the same. The reason they're all the same is so that they can keep track of everything. Because if they see something different, like the yellow paper that they saw, then they're like, okay, where did they get that from? Because we don't have it. That means they got it from the outside. And if they've got yellow paper from the outside, they could have a knife, they could have a phone, they could have rugs. What else are they getting in from the outside? So while no, a yellow piece of paper is not going to make or break the whole entire jail, it tells them that he's getting things from somewhere outside of the facility, and they need to know what else he has from outside of the facility. So that's why they're so weird about things like that. And that's where they signed off on it. I thought that this was a repeat. I don't know why I thought it was a repeat. I knew better than that. So this one states, and this is what she picked up on, it tells us where they found it. Supervisor's review or action. After closely examining the handwritten note, I noticed a few lines that concerned me. I immediately reached out to Counselor Mendoza from Mental Health Services. Mendoza has been involved with inmate Stearns since he was first brought in because he is a high-profile case. After reviewing the note, she agreed with my assessment that it needed to be reported. Bad Girl says yellow paper could be sprayed with that liquid drug K2 too as well. I haven't heard that. Now I will tell you, I heard that actually knew somebody. Y'all know I have been in trouble in the past. I've spent a couple of weeks in county before. Okay, I used to live a very different lifestyle. Unfortunately, I went down some bad roads long time ago in my life. During that time period, I knew people that would stick Suboxone strips under the stamp on the envelope. They got caught, so it only worked like twice. But I haven't heard, so I know it's possible to do things like that, but I have not heard about this spraying paper with liquid K2. That's a new one. Counselor Mendoza then evaluated inmate Stearns to determine if he needed additional mental health support. After her, hey, Beware Mommy, I don't know how to say your name. Beware Mommy says, I sure hope the truth comes out soon. Thank you for being here, love. I appreciate your comment. Evaluation, she concluded that he could stay in his assigned cell without any additional restrictions. Photos were taken of the note and uploaded to the appropriate drive. Due to some concerning content within the poem, it was handed over to Kissimmee Police Department Detective Morris, and a chain of custody form was completed. The report is forwarded to Watch Commander and the DRL for review. I apologize. I did read that. She picked up on this. So let's read this paper because it's not a repeat. And like I said before, I knew better than that. So this is informational. Again, the same date, the same hours, same pod. It says, narrative, on the above date and approximate time, while assigned as the C-Pod housing unit officer, I was conducting random cell searches in C-Pod. During this time, I searched the cell of inmate Stephen Stearns, who is currently housed alone in Charlie Isolation Cell 2. I started by searching the cell carefully, beginning with the table immediately to the right. I went through the books on the table and then checked a stack of books on the floor nearby. I love that. I love our community too, Sarah. Sarah says, I love our community. We have a dark sense of humor. It's totally cool to roast the known creep bags and respecting victims and survivor. Great combo. I agree. And I love our speculating family over here. Among those books, I found a county issued Bible with some yellow notebook papers inside it. The yellow paper stood out to me because it isn't commonly found in our facility. After finishing the search of the entire cell, I asked Officer Richards to verify the yellow paper, and he also found it unusual, noting that its contents were strange as well. As we were about to conclude, Corporal Dinko entered the pod to conduct her supervisor rounds. She approached us and began speaking with the inmate as part of a wellness check. Officer Richards then asked the inmate about the note on the floor, and the inmate replied that it was a poem he had written. Oh, wow. He was then secured back inside the cell, and as we walked away, I asked Corporal Dinko if yellow paper was allowed, but she was unsure and requested to see the papers. So, Plunder brought this up, and like when you're in church, or if you read your Bible, I know not everybody's Christian. I'll be the first to tell you that I tell my children to look into different kinds of religion and find what fits them best. However, we do have church in our household every Sunday night, and I do read the Bible to them. But in your Bible, like you'll stick, like my dad's, like the paper from my dad's wake is in my Bible, right? Important Bible verses, things that mean things to me. A bookmark that my dad made with a 4-leaf clover on it. It's just like a taped 4-leaf clover. Things that are really important to you that mean a lot are stuck in your Bible. And out of all the things that he stuck in the county issued Bible, it was this poem that we're going to talk about. Like, that's how important this poem is. And I don't know if you guys remember, but in the photo videos, we see him and his ex-girlfriend and how she had a whole book of poems and notes and all of those things that he would write to her, and they would write back and forth to each other. Evidently, he's one of those types that writes poems, and this was his final poem to Maddie. I asked inmate Stearns to hand over the papers, which he did. When I inquired about how he obtained the yellow paper, he said his attorney had given him a few blank yellow sheets of paper on a previous visit. One of the papers was a handwritten poem titled For Maddie. I handed this note to Corporal Dinko, who took it with her when she left C-Pod. That concludes my involvement in this incident. And now we have another one. Supervisor's review or actions states, after closely examining the handwritten note, I noticed Paranormal says, do you think that Stearns will be wearing Kool-Aid as lipstick? I don't know, he could. They didn't give us lipstick, but I will tell you something, a trick of the trade. You get little pencils in there, and we would run the pencil lead under water and use it as eyeliner and like to darken your eyelashes. The girls did anyway. Fun facts. And then Don Young said, family Bibles are legal documents. They count as birth certificates and all sorts of things. It's different legally than a dictionary, and different connotation on importance to him. Absolutely. Absolutely. Noticed a few lines that concerned me. I immediately reached out to Counselor Mendoza for mental health services. Right, Mendoza has been involved with inmate Stearns since he was first brought in because of his high-profile case. After reviewing the note, she agreed with my assessment that it needed to be reported. Counselor Mendoza then evaluated inmate Stearns to determine if he needed additional mental health support. After her evaluation, she concluded that he could stay in his assigned cell without any additional restrictions. Photos were taken of the note and uploaded to the appropriate drive. Due to some concerning content within the poem, it was handed over to Kissimmee Police Department, Detective Morris, and a chain of custody form was completed. The report is forwarded to the watch commander and the DRL for review. So I'm going to scroll down now. This is the chain of custody command. Right here it says Osceola County Corrections Department Property and Evidence Chain of Custody form. From Vargas, inmate's name is Stephen Stearns. It gives the IDs, the time, and the date. And it states handwritten note. Both officers signed off on it. They tell us the date was July 29th. The time was 17:42 hours. And then when we scroll over, it says reason for transfer given to supervisor. And then it says handed over to detective. Now it's going to show us pictures of the poem. Originally in the first video, I had tried to read it, but I had got some of the stuff wrong. So I cut this part out and I just put in this part where I was reading it. I'm going to link Plunder's video below. I try not to give my commentary when I read these informational videos so that you can use them if you want to, as long as you give me credit like she did. I'll read this poem again, and her video will be linked below. She's got some really wonderful thing, not wonderful, but she's got information, and her point of view on this whole situation is, I like it. And I would advise you guys to go check her out for sure. We didn't do that with our hair. We would braid it while it was wet, and that would make it wavy. I will be linking Plunder's video below, and I'll link Alex Ericson's too, because she had a different perspective on this part in the poem. So if you guys want to check out their videos, they will be linked in the description box below after this video is over. The poem states, always, your hair was like honey with eyes stormy blue. Gone far too soon, I will always miss you. Your smile was a treasure, your laughter filled the room. This world is not the same, I will always miss you. I loved you so much, I would have died for you. With no end to my tears, I will always miss you. As I held you in my arms, my heart died with you. Rest in peace, sweetheart, I will always miss you. This right here again, as I held you in my arms, my heart died with you. That is a confession, ladies and gentlemen. Okay. Now, I want to ask y'all, I'm going to play that part over again, just where I'm going to try to get it where I read that part. And I want you to hear it again. And I want to know if you really think it's a confession, because after watching Alex Ericson, she asked a question, do you think it's a confession? And then I started thinking, well, could it not be? And I'm going to tell you what I am thinking after we listen to it again, and you guys let me know if you think it's a confession. With you. That is a confession. Hold on, ladies and gentlemen. This right here again, as I held you in my arms, my heart died with you. That is a confession, ladies and gentlemen. So y'all think it's a confession? So what if, now you remember Stefan's mom, Deb, Chris Stearns' wife, Deborah Stearns, she stated in the interview before they knew what happened that she thought Stefan was taking the fall because he felt guilty about the years of abuse he had done to Maddie, and that maybe Jennifer walked in on them and Madeline was unclothed or something in the bed. Let me give a trigger warning. I apologize. I always forget to do that. Y'all be aware if you come hang out over here. I might just pop off with some things that's triggering. I apologize. Trigger warning. But that maybe Jennifer did it and Stefan's taken the fall because he feels guilty about the years of abuse. So let's say that Jennifer walked up and found something, or for whatever reason snapped and did something, and Stefan is like, oh my God. And then as Madeline is leaving the earth, he's holding her in his arms and is like, what have you done? What have you done? Do you think that that's a possibility? If you're watching this on replay, let me know in the comment section below if you think that Stefan snapped, did something, and then maybe after he realized what he had done, he was holding her in his arms as she was taking her last breaths, and that's why as I held you in my arms, my heart died with you. Or if somebody else did something like Jennifer, if she snapped And then she did something, and then he picks her up and he's like, oh my God, what have you done? And holding Maddie in his arms and is saying, as I held you in my arms, my heart died with you. Either way, we know he was, per the poem anyway, he was holding her when she died. I don't know what to think about that though, because now I'm second guessing, like maybe he wasn't the one that did it, but he's the one that's got the unaliving charge. So take that into account as well. I'm going to see what y'all are saying. Dawn says he did not feel guilt. He didn't start it. Yeah, y'all are bringing up that he didn't start it. Like when he said he didn't start it. Right. Show one piece of evidence that he felt guilty. Sarah said, oh, hell no to the no. Sub Rosa said, I wonder if mom will write him a burn after reading letter like Roberta Laundrie. Eek says, I would have died for you. And basically saying that he did. Abella says Stern doesn't feel guilty. He's all about himself. Indy says, I think he felt like a couple just as much as her. And yes, confession. Okay. Anders says, Dawn, no, I'm pretty sure he can't feel guilt. Jenny Jen says his heart didn't die when he put poor Maddie in the trunk of the car. Hey, that's the point. You're right. You're right. Dawn said Stephen did what that French husband and Casey Anthony did. He rugged her so he could grape her and she wouldn't feel the pain or remember it. Hey, that's another point that we could take into consideration. Sub Rosa, or like the walk the dog letter. Yeah. Where's Bullhorn Betty when you need her? I hope she ain't over here. So yeah, I wanted to get y'all's thoughts on that and see what you had to say. Again, if you're watching the replay, please let me know what you think. Do you think it was Stefan or do you think it was Jen? And I appreciate it. We'll finish watching this and then finish listening to the rest of the jail records. This was just a real impromptu video. I just wanted to put all the information out that I had for her. And I thank you for watching it. If you would like to see the full jail records, please go check out my video. It's called Stern's Jail. Okay, so we'll go ahead and flip back to that video. Rooster says he did it. Okay. Thank you for that. Dawn says he Googled medicine before this happened. They were neutering poodles. I think he stole it from his mom. Oh, wow, I hadn't heard that. Let me drop the link to just in case, because I wasn't able to pin it. My thing is not telling me when I'm live anymore. That's happened since I got YouTube Red. I don't understand it. Yeah, because I know it was that that drug that you give them, like to make them, like before a surgical procedure. He was supposedly giving that to Maddie, from what I'd heard. And I didn't know where he got it from, but the parents neutering the poodles, that makes perfect sense. And I didn't think about that. And it's possible. All right, we'll finish this, but I'll skip through the reading of it, and then I'll just go to the part where I show you the poem in the photos video, because I'll pull that up. Like the first time we saw the poem. Hold on just a minute. Okay, so right here, we're going to flip to where the poem is in the photos video. My YouTube channel, where we originally saw this note. Right here is a picture from my video of that note that we just saw. It's the same note because they would have taken a picture of it for evidence. Let me see if I can correct the quality so we can actually read what it says. See, here you can see it's the exact same poem. Always your hair is like honey with eyes starry blue. Gone. So this is the poem, and we first saw this in the videos, in the photos video, and you can see here that it's clearly yellow and it's folded up like it was put into some kind of document. So that's the original. And we saw this in the photos video, but we didn't know where it came from or what it was about. People were saying they didn't know if it was for Maddie, and I did put out that it did say for Maddie on the back, but yeah, I just want to let y'all know that's where we first saw this.
Gone far
thank
too
you,
soon. I
Amy.
will always miss you. Your smile was a treasure. Your laughter filled the room. This world is not the same. I will always miss you. I loved you so much. I would have died for you. With no end to my tears, I will always miss you. As I held you in my arms, my heart died with you. Rest in peace, sweetheart. I will always miss you. Okay. Back to this Wednesday, July 20th.
Don Young says a rug that when taken out the hospital, they tell you not to eat before, but she had birthday party food. I think that's why the vomit was there and why they asked Jim what food Maddie ate. That's interesting. I didn't know that either. If that's absolutely true, that's interesting. Kara said that poem, that's not a poem a father figure would write to his daughter. Gross, exactly. And that's the dynamic here. He was a father. We're going to watch the cops talk to Jen about that. It's going to be triggering. But I had a big issue with Nancy Grace last week. I think it was last Wednesday, because I shot that video while I was out driving. I shouldn't have been doing that, but I was, because I was that mad. And we'll talk about that before I go today as well.
July 31st at 11:21 per confinement review meeting. Inmate will remain protective custody housed alone for safety reasons. Inmate has recreation. Per mental health, inmate is refusing recreation due to verbal abuse from other inmates. Tuesday, August 1st, or Thursday, August.
So now we know he's got recreation with other inmates and he's refusing because they're basically talking crap to him. And that could be why he's refusing the shower and all of that. I do want to put that out there just in case. So that we, there's a reason why he could not be showering. Like I try to put all perspectives out. Dawn said there's a picture of vomit in Maddie's room, which makes me believe he moved her body to wash bedding. Oh, wow. Okay. And thank you for that. I'll have to see if I've got that or not. Thank you for putting that information out here. Nancy is abrasive.
August 1st at 10:07, inmate refused uniform exchange and shower on Alpha Ship. Goodness. I mean, you're not even changing your uniform at this point. I know depression can be a killer, but good gracious.
Kara says, I'm still mad they gave Jen immunity. That tells me they have something on her. The thing is, they gave Jen limited immunity, and it was only if she told the truth. And if you watch that immunity video that I have on that, she lied. Like, it's evident that she lied in that video. So I hope that they come back with charges for her. And it wasn't even full blanket immunity. It was limited immunity to start with, and she lied. So I don't think she has any kind of anything right now. But they might want her to testify against Stearns, and then after that, they might do something. I hope they do.
Friday, August 2nd at 8:57, he refused his morning meal. Monday, August 5th at 9 o'clock, inmate was offered a shower on Alpha Shift and refused. Wednesday, August 7th at 11:10, per confinement review meeting, inmate will remain in protective custody housed alone for safety reasons. Inmate.
I think it was that propofol. I think that might have been it, but I'm not sure. It was a long time that I heard that. And I'm not putting that out there as factual. I don't know. I just heard it.
It has recreation. Wednesday, August 14th at 11:30, per confinement review meeting, inmate will remain protective custody housed alone for safety reasons. Inmate has recreation. Monday, August 19th at 13:50, hardcover book placed in property bag. Wednesday, August 21st at 13:14, per confinement review meeting, inmate will remain protective custody housed alone for safety reasons. Inmate has recreation. Wednesday, August 22nd at 12:05, per confinement review meeting, inmate will remain protective custody housed alone for safety reasons. Inmate has recreation. Thursday, September 5th at 12:07, per confinement review meeting, inmate will remain protective custody housed alone for safety reasons. Inmate has recreation. Thursday, September 12th at 14:13, per confinement review meeting, inmate will remain protective custody housed alone for safety reasons. Inmate has recreation. Tuesday, September 17th at 6:44, inmate Stearns offered a shower on Alpha Shift. Inmate Stearns refused shower again. Wednesday, September 18th at 11:30, per confinement review meeting, inmate will remain protective custody, housed alone for safety reasons. Inmate has recreation. Friday, September 20th at 13:05, inmate Stearns requested access to the tablet and was subsequently allocated time to use it during alpha shift. Thursday, September 17th. I don't know why it just went back, but okay. Thursday, September 17th at 15:12, during alpha shift, inmate Stearns declined the opportunity to take a shower. Sunday, September 22nd at 12:20, during alpha shift, inmate Stearns declined the opportunity to take a shower. Thursday, September 26th at 6:11, inmate was offered a shower and declined on alpha shift. Thursday, September 26th, per confinement review meeting, inmate will remain protective custody, housed alone for safety reasons. Inmate has recreation. Thursday, October 3rd at 7:02, inmate was offered a shower and clean uniform, and inmate declined on Charlie's shift.
Like, I don't understand why he's declining clean uniforms at this point. Dawn said she didn't lie any more than Danny did. Like, Danny, when given evidence that they were lying, they both turned on the partner. I'm very curious about why Danny gets compassion and Jen gets ill wishes. I don't know who Danny is. And I'll have to look into that, but I don't know who that is. Bad Girl says Stearns can't handle jail. Imagine when he gets to prison, and I'm here for it, no doubt. Oh, wow, paranormal. It's possible.
Thursday, October 3rd at 12:04, per confinement review meeting, inmate will remain protective custody, housed alone for safety reasons. Inmate has...
Danny Youngkin. I don't think Danny Youngkin had anything to do with it. So you're saying that Jen didn't lie any more than Danny did, and like Danny, when given evidence they were lying, they both turned on the partner. I don't know. I know in the beginning he was trying to cover for her, but once he found out that Leilani had done it, like when he started figuring it out, he was all for it. Like, he even told them to bug his phone and to bug the room and all of that. I don't think Danny Youngkin had anything to do with Quentin personally. But you know, I mean, it is a comparison to think about, because a lot of people feel like Jen didn't do anything to Madeline. And yeah, I mean, Danny Youngkin does get more compassion from me than Jennifer does. Now, you know, the cases are completely different as well, but that is a good question to ask, and a good point. Because one gets compassion while the other doesn't. And I mean, for me personally, it would be because I don't think Danny was involved in it whatsoever. And I think Jennifer was involved with Madeline being unalived, and that she knew about what was going on. But it would be interesting to hear other people's thoughts and perspectives on that. So I appreciate you bringing that up. SJ Sheila says, I have seen in other videos that he was lacking personal hygiene to begin with. He was always kind of nasty. Yeah. Oh, Dawn Young says Jen did the same thing, but doesn't get the relief. Jen got her phone back day one. I didn't know that. But yeah, I could definitely see both points.
Has recreation. Tuesday, October 8th at 12:11, per confinement review meeting, inmate will remain housed alone in protective custody for safety reasons. Inmate has recreation. And then on Sunday, October 13th at 8:43, inmate received a haircut on Charlie's shift. And now, as you can see, we are back at the beginning. And there's this lovely picture of him. This was printed on the 14th at 11:12 a.m. Yep, that's all I have for the moment. I am going over at 800.
Okay, we're going to watch this short that I did about Nancy Grace, and that'll probably be it for me today. I do got some stuff to do, and I need to rest my voice. But Jen brought up a great point. Jen saw a picture of Maddie being S8 and still wanted to get Stephen Stearns an attorney, which is a great point. And Dawn said, I don't believe either of them were involved. They behaved the same way, and she was medicated. It's very possible. Yeah. I would love to hear people's thoughts on the correlation between Jen Soto and Danny Youngkin from the Quentin Simon trial. And I'm glad you asked that question and brought that up. Oh, it's a 4-minute video. that I want to show you guys real quick before I go and talk about, and we're going to talk about this part of the confession that I have in here. This video I screen recorded while I was driving. It's not edited. I threw it up and threw it out.
Yeah, not doing this. I'm going to play a clip for you.
I threw it up and threw it out. And I do not usually make, like, it's bad enough that sometimes when I'm reading, I mix up my words or get off track. But this video was like really impromptu. It's not edited. It's not that great, but I wanted to talk to you guys about it. Like, I was so furious in this moment that I threw this up while I was like driving and going in between back and forth from the doctor to the pharmacy and all of that. So I just wanted to let y'all know that this is going to be like the worst edited video you ever saw me do, but it's important.
For you from Nancy Grace that was taken out of context. And then I'm going to play the original for you. Please pay close attention because no, we're not doing this. No, ma'am.
Maddie.
Robin. Hey, Robin Michelle. Thank you for being here. She's so loud. I'm going to turn this down just a smidge. Thank you so much for being here today.
Soto, just 13 years old. Mommy gets immunity? Good evening. I'm Nancy Grace. This is Crime Stories. Thank you for being with us.
I sent them to sleep upstairs in the guest bedroom so that I could get a good night's sleep.
I'm going to have to pause this every 30 seconds or they're going to flag me. Just the part where she's talking.
We need to get you a lawyer. But that was me assuming that you guys had the wrong guy, not that he had done all this to her. I don't know why I wasn't thinking him. I believed the sexual stuff, but I didn't want to believe that he had done anything evil to her.
What you just said is the sex stuff is fine.
She really did just say that. Like, and again, we're going to look through part of this interrogation. That's a really long interrogation, and it is on my channel if you guys want to watch the whole thing.
It's not fine. I look back now and just like, he was lying. He was faking.
Do you see this? It says best day ever. Bow chicka wow wow. And they're kissing each other and stuff. I have never seen that picture.
We can go even worse. She's pregnant. Have you ever found a pregnancy test at home?
I have two underneath the kitchen, the bathroom sink, but I haven't seen if they're still there or not.
Let me run this misinformation back for you one more time.
Stop.
Did y'all see that? Like how she tried to imply that she was pregnant and then they put the blue lights flashing like the red and blue lights over it? Like, are you kidding me right now, Nancy Grace? Just to put it out there, it has not been confirmed that she was with child. We're not going to know that because her autopsy is not going to be released because she's under the age of 18. And the only way to get an autopsy from a child, from somebody under the age of 18 in California, is that the family releases it. And they're not going to do that. I'm sorry I'm missing some of y'all's comments. But we're going to listen to this misinformation spewed out by Nancy Grace one more time.
Fine. I look back now and just like, he was lying. He was faking.
We can go even worse. She's pregnant. Have you ever found a pregnancy test at home?
I have two underneath the kitchen, the bathroom sink, but I haven't seen if they're still there or not.
Now listen to the clip in its entirety.
Series, I keep.
So this is sped up. I'm gonna slow it down just a little bit so it's not too fast. Y'all, I was hot. I was so mad. Like, this is so unprofessional of me. Let me see. I don't want it that far. We'll do it like that. It's gonna take it back.
Tell your theories, because here's the deal. You don't go home until she's found.
No, I know.
So what are your theories?
What I heard is, what if she upset him?
It's possible,
Some of
Corey.
your emotion up until this room, I think some of the emotion in this room is sincere. I think a lot of it's because I'm being an asshole. I'm telling you things you don't want to hear that shouldn't be said out loud. But when you talk to the news, when you talk to deputies, it feels, based on my experience in this job, that it's not sincere.
Trixie, have a good day, love.
I feel like some of your sadness is not real sadness. I feel like when you gave the interview with Fox 35, it was
my
not
God.
sincere. Looking at that video one time, I didn't feel like your cries were sincere. And I'm not saying that because you're a bad person. I feel like sometimes people struggle to show real emotion when they're aware of what their truth is. So it has to be fake. This is
And that was the thing for me. Like, she wasn't showing emotion in the interview with the news. And again, and I brought it up then, the only way that you can't fake that emotion. You can't fake the shock and horror of finding out something that you already knew. And that leads me to believe that she already knew something when they tell her that she looks like she's unalived in the car and he's driving around with her. Again, she doesn't have the shock response that someone would, because you can't fake that. I picked up on that just like this officer did. Sub Rosa says, I love this cop. I have since heard that these detectives were removed from the case because I guess somebody said because they did a crappy investigation. I don't know. I don't know why they were removed from the case, if they were. But I found that interesting.
Demise for the past, let's say, 5 years, right? But her going missing, her disappearance, if you have knowledge of how it happened, where it happened, an inclination, that emotion's not going to feel sincere because you're already aware of what happened. It's almost because
if I knew anything, I promise you, I would tell you. Like, I am willing to take a lie detector test, whatever the fuck you want, but I don't know anything. He's never mentioned anything. I've never seen any signs. I tried watching her like a hawk. I thought I was doing a good job, but I wasn't. I was oblivious to everything. 4 years?
Minimum. That's just how that far back the cloud goes. I find it hard to believe for me that you were...
Now, that could have been genuine. I don't know. I mean, like, rubbing herself, trying to rub the gross off, you know what I mean? Because she's thinking about, him having trigger warning, what he was doing to Maddie and then to her at the same time for the past 4 years. We know that they had not been intimate in about a year, which tells me that she knew then, but she might not have known how far back it went.
We're so worried about how many pills she took at night, but not where she slept or what relationship she was. His interest in her.
I thought we were all safe. I thought because that he hadn't shown me anything so far. Like,
it will pause like that, and that's where they redacted it. Kara said they needed Grady Judge to go after both of them. I wish he had that. I watch his press conferences, even though I'm not anywhere in Florida or near Florida. That man will go after somebody. I like him. I love Grady Judge.
Everything seems fine. Like, he seems like he treated her like
he treats you.
Look at the realization. Like, when I heard that again, because I haven't watched this video in a long time, and I didn't pick up on it the first time, he treated her like he treats you. And, like, my heart dropped to my stomach when I heard that again. I was like, wow, he damn sure did, didn't he?
In his mind.
What's the reaction?
it's so fucking disgusting.
That's so effing disgusting. And she's picking her knee up and she's gonna like take her hands and be just wiping the nasty off. You know what I mean? Hey, Cozy. Thank you for being here, love.
So now he's in jail because of what we found on his phone. Not because somebody came forward and reported that he was abused.
No, I know.
She's not old enough to consent. She's not old enough to have a thought process to even want anything that was happening to her. It's abuse.
I think that was the problem in this house. I think that Jen, being medicated, knew about Maddie and Stefan. This is just my personal perspective on it. And Maddie thought she was in a relationship with Stefan. Stefan is just nasty and grooming her. And Jen thought, okay, well, they're in a relationship. And then, the Woody Allen situation. They'll get married when she's old enough. And he looking from the outside in and is like, she's not old enough to consent. That's abuse regardless. Like, is it possible? Yes. Dawn's saying she didn't know. I understand and respect your opinion on that. And again, I don't know that she knew anything. None of us do. I don't know that she didn't know anything. None of us do. And I appreciate you saying that and sharing your opinion. Let me read some of y'all's comments real quick. Cozy says she's mad jealous. Kara said, I believe she knew. She just didn't know when it happened when Maddie was so young. Why else would she make the Woody Allen comment? See, I'm kind of more agreeing with you on that line. That's my thought process on it. Sub Rosa says when the nasty is on the inside, it can't be wiped off from the outside. Right? Exactly. Dawn says, I think it's the rugs she's on make her flat in a situation where people are judging her by her reactions, and it's flat. It is also possible those medications they're mood stabilizers, so they stabilize your mood, so you're not going to have any ups or downs. So again, that's another possibility. She really might not have known it could have been the medication. I appreciate everybody's thoughts, opinions, and speculations on everything. I love to hear why people think something different than me and what their perspectives are on it. So I really appreciate y'all all being here and sharing those.
So he's in jail for that, but something caused what? Right? I mean, murder. Because we can call it a murder. She didn't die naturally. She didn't overdose. She didn't have a heart attack. We circled murder on Monday. Something had to cause that. He's been having unrestricted sexual activity for a long time. He's getting what he wants from her, probably from you, and who knows, whoever else, right? So it's not like he woke up or went to bed Sunday and he was like, you know what? I'm done with this, but I'm going to kill her. Something happened. People don't just wake up and like, you know what? They leave people, they break up with people, but usually things cause people to snap. Now, you know what? I'm in trouble, or I feel like I'm working out. We can go even worse. She's pregnant.
That's what questions last night led me to.
So notice, I mean, in the Nancy Grace interview, he's not asking it as a question, but when we take it back to the original interview, he's asking it as a question.
Leave when we start talking about her period.
I was told that her and her friend, granted, male, never had a period, but that somebody found it weird that they were no longer on the same cycle. Could be different because she's a teenage girl. Could be that she missed her period. Have you ever found a pregnancy test at home that wasn't yours?
I have two underneath the bathroom sink, but I haven't seen if they're still there or not.
Okay. But you haven't seen any used ones in the trash? Their relationship hasn't changed? Okay. So what?
So, I mean, again, he's asking her as a question. It's not a statement, it's a question. He's trying to figure out if it's possible because, like he said, Stefan had unrestricted access to her for years. Why all of a sudden did he snap? If he is the one that indeed did this, why did he all of a sudden snap and do this that night? I mean, it doesn't make any sense. Somebody said because Maddie might have fought back and finally been like, no, I'm not okay with this. We have to remember this is the first time he had been spending the night there in a long time because they had broke up. And that's very possible. I scrolled back up to this comment. Jules, thank you so much for being here, love. And I appreciate you commenting. Jules says, I kind of agree, but that doesn't make you but meds don't make you nearly that flat, in my opinion. When it's such an extreme situation, there still should be a reaction. And I agree. But, you know, I love hearing all of the different thoughts, opinions, and speculations. I'm going to play the last couple of seconds of this so we can hear that.
What do you think happened Sunday? Other than him killing her.
And that was all that I got from that. While we have y'all here, I mean, I usually go for like 3 or 4 hours. So, I don't know. I guess, let's see what Vinnie Politan thinks on this, because I know that he put out some stuff recently. Oh, Indy, thank you for being here, love. So this is 2 days ago from CourtTV, and they're going to investigate the charges against Stearns. I don't know if it's a video or a short, but we'll watch this real quick before I go. It's 43 minutes. So we'll watch this. We'll see what he has to say about the charges against Stefan. Yeah, go from there.
Investigates. I'm Ted Rowlands, filling in for Vinnie.
Hold on, let me put it back on the regular speed. I had slowed it down because my video was sped up.
It's a story that is as heartbreaking as it is infuriating. A young girl who was never truly given a fair shot at life. According to prosecutors, Madeline Soto was sexually abused for years and eventually murdered by the hands of her mom's boyfriend. It's the tragic tale surrounding the life and death of Madeline Soto. Here's her story. On February 24th, Madeline Soto had just turned 13. She celebrated her birthday with friends and family at a relative's house. That night, when Madeline returned home, her mother, Jen, was there with her boyfriend, Stephen Stearns. Jen sent Madeline and her boyfriend, Stephen, to go sleep together in an upstairs bedroom, and that was the last time, Jen says, she saw Madeline alive.
I'm reading your comments. My computer's being a little slow. I just dropped the link for the panel if anybody wants to come up and talk with me. And I will be looking through your comments and highlighting some of them now.
Stephen claimed that he dropped Madeline off at school the next morning, but Madeline never made it to school. She was murdered and discarded about 20 miles from her house. Prosecutors have charged Stephen with her murder. They also have charged him with something else, years of sexual abuse. They say they found incriminating images of Stearns abusing Madeline on his Google Drive, abuse that went back more than 4 years. Jen Soto has not been charged with any crimes, but both Stephen and Jen have made statements in recorded jail calls, police interrogations, and television appearances. Now, we investigate the murder of Madeline Soto. And if you recall, prior to Stearns being charged with the murder, he was arrested for sexual abuse after hundreds of child pornography files were found on his phone. According to prosecutors, Stearns had taken pictures and videos of Madeline while he was raping her and saved them to his Google Drive. Let's go back to the moment in the police interview where investigators first confront Stearns about what they have found.
We have these videos like where it showed them looking for Madeline. All of those videos are in the Madeline Soto playlist, and I think they're in chronological order. I just wanted to let y'all know when I drop the StreamYard link, nobody has to come up. Like, don't feel obligated. I just drop it in case somebody does, because a lot of people do like to come up and share, and some people don't, and we're all good. I just drop it just in case somebody wants to.
What do you think was on the phone?
Text messages. Emails. Phone stuff.
Pictures?
Oh, yeah.
What kind of pictures were on there?
Training card pictures. Lightsaber pictures.
Here's where I'm going to be brutally honest with you.
Notice his arms are closed and folded in front of him. He's in a guarded position. And we've seen other interrogations where the person is sat by the door, so they have the feeling that they can leave. When we look at Jen Soto's interrogation, she's in a very open room. She has lots of room, freedom to move. Yet Stearns is in a guarded position in a small corner, and his knees are daggum near touching this detective right here's knees. He's very closed in. They do that on purpose to make him anxious, to make him scared, all of that. That's what they're doing right now.
There's your phone. And I'm pretty sure you know what some of those pictures are about.
Should I be talking with a lawyer right now?
Yes, is the answer to that. Stearns is charged with 60 crimes related to the abuse, including 40 charges of unlawfully possessing graphic material. But according to the state, those weren't the only images found in Stearns' possession. Take a look at what they discovered on USB drives used by him. One of the drives was empty, and the other drive contained more than 35,000 images of child pornography.
35,000, not 3,500, but 35,000. And I'm going to be going through a document. I've just got to read it and get the videos edited and put out. But it's an 800 and something page document that tells us all the information, all the police narratives, everything. So I'll be getting that video out. But again, 35,000, not 3,500, but 35,000. It says USB drives and hard drive. Upon reviewing the data from the USB drives, one of the drives was empty and the other drive contained over 35,000 images of child pornography. It did not appear that, more than likely, Maddie was in any of those images. The hard drive was not used since 2020, and it did not contain anything of evidentiary value. I remember reading that part and being like, what? Excuse me? That is evidentiary value. Where are those children? Whose children are those? Are we not going to try to help them children and get them out of that situation? What do you mean, sir? I have questions.
It did not appear that Madeline was in any one
Right.
of those images. The hard drive had not been used since 2020, and it didn't contain anything of evidentiary value in the case against Madeline. But he had possession of that USB drive. So if there was child pornography there and it wasn't Madeline, who was it? And will Stearns be held liable for those images? That brings me to my first question of this investigation. Will Stephen Stearns face more child pornography charges? One
Hey, Toxic Orchid, thank you for
would
being
think
here,
so,
love.
given the amount of images that they found on that hard drive. Let's bring in our guest for the hour. Joining us, former
Corey said that I assume they meant in the Madeline Soto case. I hope that's what they meant, because that is evidence for something. Goodness gracious. Give it to Grady Judd. He'll line them out. I promise. But I hope that's what they meant, Corey. I really do.
former homicide prosecutor and current co-host of the True Crime MTN on YouTube, Belva Pearson, and creator and host of the Grizzly True Crime YouTube channel.
Oh my God.
Gisela K.
She's on here. What? You go, girl. I love Grizzly True Crime. I didn't know that. Girl, you get it. I'm so proud of you right now.
Both of you are well versed in this case, and sadly, all of us are. It's just a heartbreaker. Melbo, he's got all these images. One would expect that he would be charged because of possession of child pornography, but he's also facing the death penalty right now in the Soto case. So what do you expect from the state of Florida? Is this a situation where they don't need to charge him necessarily because he's already being pursued and he's facing a death conviction? But what about those kids on those images as well?
Yeah, absolutely, Ted. And that is my concern, is those poor children who have been violated in the most awful way, and their families may not see justice. So this is one of those situations where obviously
where is it? SJ Sheila said, are the folks at Nancy Grace TV manipulating the audio in the interview to make the cop sound different? I don't know, because when we played the actual audio, he said it as a question. Whereas in that clip we see from Nancy Grace, it's stated more as a statement. And that's what pissed me off. I was like, oh no, hell no, we're not doing this. Not today, Satan. So I don't know. They could have manipulated it.
obviously the prosecution is going to go forward with the death penalty case against the defendant. However, they will likely file charges in relation to the, I believe it's 35,000 images of child pornography. But I think that would be more like a placeholder. So in other words, they would file those charges, keep it there, but the main focus is going to be the homicide. And then after that case is resolved, whether it be a conviction or a hung jury, whatever the case may be, then they will take another look at the child pornography case and maybe decide if they want to maybe, for instance, if he's convicted and he ends up getting the death penalty, well, there's not much of a reason to move forward with the child pornography case, and they may pause on that. But if it turns out that something different happens with the homicide case, they may use that charge as that case as a backup in order to make sure that he faces accountability.
I want to say that just for the comments section, in case anybody's getting heated, that we don't know for a fact that Jennifer did know anything, and we don't know for a fact that she did not know anything. We do know that she had limited immunity and that the cops were asking her questions. And I love to hear everybody's thoughts, opinions, and speculations. But I just want to make sure everybody is respectful to everybody, because, you know, obviously we're not all going to agree on the same thing or think the same way. That's what makes it great. That's what makes the chat great, is that we can all share our thoughts, opinions, and speculations, and people can have different ones, and we can all talk about it respectfully and, you know, think about a different point of view, you know? So I appreciate that, you guys. I really do. Jacqueline, thank you so much for being here. Jacqueline D says, I think Jen ended her and Stefan came to take care of it. When he held her, she was already ended. Just a thought. That was a question that I asked, and I appreciate you sharing your thoughts with me on that. I asked that earlier in the chat, and yeah, I'm starting to wonder that myself. And again, by reading the poem, let me know what you guys think. If you think Stefan did it or if Jen did it, I would love to hear your thoughts on that in the comment section if you're watching this on a replay. Oh, and again, please, if you don't mind, consider hitting the thumbs up, because it helps us get out into the algorithm. Thank you.
Gisela, it's just another part of this horrific case, another little tidbit that, you know, just that came out fairly recently. What does it tell you about this person and how scary it really was that he was around this girl with seemingly permission from mom?
Typical groomer. I mean, seemingly innocent, connecting with a child. He's collecting all sorts of figurines, you know, all these toys and all of that. But look at what else he was collecting. And also there's the 35,000 pictures on one of the USBs. Imagine on all these old phones when he worked at Disney. And he was filming the roommates, the adult roommates in the house. So he seemed to be a collector of all things. I can only imagine eventually there will be more charges, but there might also be more people, you know, that are charged, because usually guys like this would trade, and that is a huge concern as well.
So to that point, Melba, could they go to him and say, you know, hey, where did you get this, or implicate other people? And he's in a position where he doesn't have a lot going for him, but is that something investigators would want to do? Because let's face it, as a society, this is a massive problem. And it is one that it's being conducted in secret on the dark web, et cetera. Any help would be big help to get kids out of harm's way.
Absolutely. I think that the investigators are going to do a thorough search and investigation, and also question him with regards to the source of those photos. But at the same token, it's sort of like, he could speak on it because he's hoping to maybe curry favor, but at the same token, it's not going to get him a more favorable plea or more favorable resolution. The death penalty is going to stay on the table.
And I think it should. I think it should, unless they find out for a fact that Jen knew something or did something. We don't know anything is fact, except for that, unfortunately, this poor baby is no longer on this earth. And please remember her father and the rest of her family, her grandmother, Jen, even Jen in all of this, despite how you feel about her. Please keep them in your thoughts and prayers tonight, and say a prayer for them if you pray. Send them good vibes.
He's going to have to face accountability for what he did to poor Madeline. So I don't see a scenario where it's going to be, if he gives this information, he's going to get a reduced sentence or some other kind of benefit. So with that being said, it may not be necessarily in his best interest to even say anything, because if he's not going to get anything out of it, sort of in his mindset, what's the point? And his attorney may be saying the same thing as well.
Right. And Gisela, he's in a bad spot. And rightfully so. This is a crime that jurors, the population is absolutely disgusted with. The deceit, all of it, and his phone calls. We'll be talking about that coming up. When you look at what we now know in terms of the evidence, it seems overwhelming. And this is a death case, so you do need overwhelming evidence, but Florida seems to have it.
Yeah, so overwhelming is going to have 2 trials. So one will be for all the CSAM charges, the child sexual abuse material, the other one for the murder charges, and who knows if they'll pile on whatever they find from the investigation with these 35,000 images. That's a lot. That's a lot. But he's facing the death penalty. Things are looking pretty grim for him, but yet he's still enthusiastic. He thinks he needs his social security card because he's going to get out one day.
Yeah, and he doesn't seem to have hit home when his conversations that are recorded. It is important to note that these 2 hard drives were turned in by the father, Stefan's father, Chris Stearns, and not actually located by investigators. There could be more drives. Investigators haven't found them yet. Let's watch as Chris Stearns describes the hard drives during an interview with Hidden True Crime on YouTube.
They said, hey, look, there's a desktop computer at home. Maybe you guys should come.
This is going to be Chris Stearns and Deborah Stearns. This is Stefan's parents. And again, let me say that we don't want to attack anybody in these interviews. I truly believe that Stefan's parents didn't know. I mean, my personal opinions and thoughts are they babied him too much. They loved him too much. I don't think that they knew anything about anything, or they had anything to do with it, or they're trying to cover for him or in any way. I think they just really love him so much, and they let him get away with things when he was growing up and things like that. I think it has more, what he did would have more to do with the traumatic brain injury to the, I think it was the frontal lobe on his too, than anything to do with his parents.
Come get it. I said, okay, we'll make arrangements to do that, only to find out that the hard drive was removed from it. I know it was there Sunday morning when he left, because I told the police that after I found that out. So he purposely removed that hard drive. Why? Well, again, as I explained to the police, very forthcoming, that Saturday evening, he was having some sort of anxiety panic attack, and I've never ever seen this expression on his face. Never. And something he had some sort of information and had no idea what it was, but he was really panicked. And then to find out that this hard drive was removed. So, we're cleaning out his room a few weeks later, come across this USB drive, 2 of them, as a matter of fact. I put one in both of them computer. One had nothing, just like the evidence shows. The other one, I just hovered my mouse over the fields, didn't see any image, because again, you can't unsee what you see.
It's just file names,
File names, and just from the.
I didn't know that his dad found it, which is interesting. Sub Rosa said he ain't got a traumatic brain injury. I want to see evidence before I believe it. I think when we saw them take his shirt off, and there was like 2, it looked like incisions above his belly button. I think that's from where he got hit by the truck. But to be fair, I haven't seen the medical records either.
The description, I said, this is not good.
Melba, he was like
Dawn is just saying that she don't think Jennifer knew. And then, other people think that Jennifer did, and that Dawn feels the way that like maybe Maddie was, in some kind of, because she had been groomed for so long, she thought that she was in a relation with Stefan and that it was completely acceptable because of being groomed, and that Jen was on medication and all of that. And so maybe Stefan told her, hey, we're going to be in a relationship and we're not going to tell Jen, and we're just going to keep it quiet. And things like that have happened before. And then, some people don't think it happened that way. I just appreciate everybody being respectful of everybody's thoughts and opinions, because both things are possible. I mean, in reality, all of that is possible. You're all right. You all could be right. Oh, Jules said, I heard the scars were from a gastric bypass. That could be. I'm not sure. I could be wrong on that. So did Hello Kitty. Thank you.
living with his parents, communicating with his parents, constantly always asking them for money. They were a huge part of his life. This isn't like some dude that moved across country and is sitting in a basement conducting all this. He's in their house at times, around them at times, yet able to pull the wool over their eyes. That is a scary. I mean, they were shocked at all of this when it came out, and yet here he was doing all of this right in front of them, yet they didn't seem to know. What does that tell you about the cunning nature of him and other, basically, child predators?
Well, child predators have learned over time to hide their predilections because they know it's not acceptable by society. They know it's not legal. So, of course, they know how to be able to maneuver and get the sick fantasies that they enjoy, be able to get that information and get those kicks. So he wouldn't be talking about it at the dining room table. There'd be no way for his parents necessarily know unless he was bringing children home, which is highly unlikely. He's going out and doing all of this dirt and disgusting things outside of his home. So,
and I agree with that statement. I think that 100%. And I question how he had all this money but couldn't seem to keep a job. That's always stuck out to me.
Again, his parents would have no reason to even
think
that that's what's going on. I'm sure they look like decent people. I'm sure they probably raised him well. And
Dawn said on one of the Stearns video, they say they could find no evidence from the hospital of a traumatic brain injury or a TMI. I didn't know that. Thank you for telling me that.
So there's no thought process where it could be that this is what the defendant is doing. So.
Yeah. Let's get a break. Our guests are going to stay with us as we examine the next question in our investigation. It's about Stephen Stearns' conversations with his parents. Doesn't Stearns know that his calls are being recorded?
That's interesting. Oh, hold on just a minute.
Get my ducks in a row and prepare myself for whatever.
Okay. Now, I requested the phone calls, but they're telling me no. I got to figure out if anybody knows how you can get phone calls. Like, they don't want to give me them phone calls like the actual recordings. They hold on to them like gold. So let me know if y'all know how to get those, because I would love to get some phone calls from jail.
Yeah. Let's get a break. Our guests are going to stay with us as we examine the next question in our investigation. It's about Stephen Stearns' conversations with his parents. Doesn't Stearns know that his calls are being recorded?
I had wanted to grab a few things and get my ducks in a row and prepare myself for whatever was coming.
Everybody says I went to the wrong crowd, but
I'm going to be looking into that. Oh, there's another one of those out. Maybe we can watch it this weekend. By then, this one might be out. I like to watch those interviews with a killer with y'all. I find them interesting. Not everybody does, but I like to see the workings of the criminal mind, how it goes. Oh, the season finale's next Sunday.
She was so happy too.
Hold on.
Like Sunday, 8/7 Central. And don't miss the new season coming in 2025, only on CourtTV.
There we go.
She was so happy too. She was looking forward to my visit here. She was looking forward to us all being together. I loved her like she was my own.
Now, that's from one of the interviews that I have on my channel. But the jail calls, I need them, and they don't want to give them, and I don't like that.
That was audio of Stephen Stearns. That was from a police interview where he described his relationship with Madeline to investigators. Detectives usually record these interviews to be used during the investigation, and eventually they are played in court. So let's listen to a jail call now, which are also recorded and also typically sometimes played in a courtroom. Well, this is the defendant, Stephen Stearns, talking to mom and dad.
There's some explanation why you left and went where you went? I was driving around. Okay, understood you were driving around, but they know where you were driving around. Yeah. And we know. Okay. I had wanted to grab a few things and get my ducks in a row, kind of prepare myself for whatever was coming, but I couldn't find what I was looking for.
In that call, Chris Stearns was grilling his son, Chris's dad, of course, about visiting their storage unit prior to his arrest. As you heard, Stefan's response was suspicious, saying, "Oh, getting my ducks in a row, preparing for whatever was coming." And Dad's like, "Yeah, we all know where you went. Investigators know where you went." That brings us to our next question. Doesn't he know these calls are recorded? Doesn't everybody now, with all these true crime shows and these podcasts and everything else, calls are recorded from prison, from jail, from everywhere? Let's bring back our guest, still with us, former prosecutor Melba Pearson and YouTube host.
My question would be, I mean, I'm sure he knows. Does he care at this point?
Grizzly, okay, Grizzly, this, I mean, it's astounding how people in these positions still try to put up the good face, and he's talking to mom and dad, and he's being evasive, but still talking and talking and talking and talking. You see it all the time. What about him? What do you notice about what he says, how he says it, and the fact that he just continues to yap when he knows it's over?
Yeah, his dad himself said when Stefan's lips are moving, he's lying. So, I mean, I don't think at that point he's in such a comfort zone lying to his parents.
Okay.
We saw him, lie in all the police video interviews, on the body cam, in the police audio interviews. So imagine how much he's lied to his parents in his life. So there he is like, "Oh, hey," when there's a jail call, "Hey, Dad." And then just saying this was the worst birthday present ever, as if that's the big issue. So I think he's so used to lying and getting away with it. It seems to me like he still thinks he's going to get away with it, which is why he spoke like this. But he absolutely knows he's being recorded.
Yeah, Melba, this is the best case scenario, right? For a guy like this, for investigators, for prosecutors.
Oh yeah, I mean,
After we watch this, we're going to watch, there's a phone call that's been put out 2 weeks ago that's called Stephen Stearns' jail call with his parents. So we'll watch that after we watch this clip. Thank you, Toxic Orchid. I'm gonna,
as a prosecutor, the best thing is when you're able to find that little nugget on the jail calls and being able to use that in your case in chief. So, let's be very clear. When you make a phone call at the jail and you pick up that receiver, it says your call is being recorded. So there is no question that people are informed that they know that whatever they're saying is going to be recorded. Maybe it's not clicking that that recording is actually going to be used as evidence, but they're going to find out the hard way, one way or another. So, I think that these tapes are going to play a very central role in the trial as that moves forward, and it's going to be a bit of insight that the jury will be able to get into his state of mind and how he views life, and obviously how he views this situation, which clearly he's not taking very seriously.
Yeah, and how he views himself in this life, and how.
He sure did complain about the chair in the interview room. He was in there for a while. Like, he slept for like 3 hours, I think. It was a hot minute before they actually walked in and started interrogating him, but still.
How he views his ability to lie to others. I think he sees everyone else on the phones. Right. Like, they're probably not recording my calls. I'll just talk in code with mom and dad. They'll never know. Well, let's listen to another interesting moment from Stearns' jail call with mom and dad. In this one, he seemingly confirms the accusations that he sexually abused Madeline.
I wish there was a way that, you and I can have a conversation, all of us could have a conversation to understand what's taken place, how this came about, how you arrived here, because it would help us better understand the situation, because we're at a loss for understanding how all this came about. I mean, we're just totally baffled. Well, I didn't start it. Oh, you didn't start it, but you participated in it, which is just as bad as not starting it.
What? Excuse me, what? What are you saying? I didn't start it. I don't think Stephen Young started it. What the hell? That's appalling.
I didn't start it, Dad and Mom. It was, it was them. It was Mom and Madeline. I mean, what is he saying? I didn't start it. What does that mean?
Oh man, that's the question that keeps me up at night. And it's so haunting how he says it, like, I didn't start it. Who are you blaming? Are you blaming the victim? Are you blaming Jen Soto? So it's just.
And Griselda from Grizzly True Crime has a great point there. Who are you blaming, sir? Are you blaming the victim? Are you blaming Jen Soto for your actions that you committed? I'm going to drop her link to her channel in the description box below. If you guys don't know Grizzly True Crime, she does really good videos as well. So I will put her down there with Plunder and Alex Ericson.
He always shifts the blame. That seems to be his MO across the board with every interview that we've heard of him. But that question bugs me so much. Like, I didn't start it. Oh man, I'm sure it bugs his parents too. That's why they were asking.
And yeah, I mean, that to me is he is not taking responsibility. He's Mel. It's as if he's saying, well, this young woman was very attracted to me because of my great looks, and Mom was there too, and I didn't start this whole thing. Yet
that's a possibility. Dawn, I'm so sorry to hear that.
He's got all the porn on his discs from 2020 before he even knew them or was around Madeline. It's disgusting on so many levels. If a jury hears this, what do you think of it?
Oh, yeah. It's going to be messy and disastrous at the end of the day.
I think so, too. Eek, not everybody knows. I've had some unfortunate experiences in my youth, and nobody knew because I wouldn't say anything either, because I was under the impression that I don't need to say anything, that somebody could get hurt if I say anything. So I just wanted to let you know that it's not always as obvious as you would think it would be. But, for it to go on for as long as it did, and they're sharing the bed together, and it seems to be as open as it appears that it was in that house. I mean, again, you can question, how did you not know in that situation? But it's not always very apparent.
Of the day, because the reality is, he is a predator, and predators function off of manipulation and grooming and all of that. So he spent possibly his entire adult life lying and concealing and all of that. So why would that change now? It wouldn't. And it is not unusual for people who are child predators to say, oh, no, the child came on to me. They want me. I had no choice. That sort of scenario, which we all know is complete and utter foolishness. But again, this is how they try to justify their behavior by saying, oh, this is a consensual relationship. And they go into this whole mindset, which is completely ignoring the fact that this is a child. A child cannot consent, period, end of story. So, again, this is just part of his mindset to try to justify his actions, which there is no justification.
And trying to prop himself up as being this great guy. It's scary.
Oh, thank you, Eek. I'm sorry, Dawn, that you had to, that you've dealt with that. Thank you, Eek. Yeah, I have. It was the reason I went down a very dark path in my youth, but I've gotten over it now, and I'm very protective of my children. But I appreciate that. Thank you.
I'm Ted Rowlands, filling in for Vinnie Politan. We're going to keep digging for answers as this investigation continues.
I try not to play their music. Sometimes they'll play something. I don't want to miss it. So we're halfway through. After this, we're going to listen to a 13-minute phone call that they have from the jail. I've got to put in some requests for phone calls. I got to figure out how to word it or something, because I want some phone calls from the jail on a couple people, 3 people.
Investigates. I'm Ted Rowlands, in for Vinnie. We continue our investigation on the tragic abuse and murder of Madeline Soto.
Oh, thank you, Top.
She just turned 13 when she was killed, and her body was dumped in the woods. Prosecutors say she was sexually abused for years. Abuse that took place in her own home, where she should have felt the most safe. Here's her story. Madeline Soto had just turned 13. She was living with her mom, Jen Soto, and her mom.
I'm sorry, Dawn. I hate that for you.
Mom's on and off again boyfriend, Stephen Stearns. In a strange arrangement, Stearns would sometimes sleep with Jen and Madeline, and sometimes with just Madeline alone. Jen says she didn't suspect anything was going on, but when Madeline went missing and was found murdered, detectives told Jen that Stearns had pictures on his phone of Madeline being sexually abused by Stearns. Jen's reaction has raised eyebrows and some suspicion, but she hasn't been charged with anything, while Stearns has been charged with abusing and murdering Madeline and is now facing a potential death sentence. Meanwhile, many questions about what was going on inside that home still have not been answered. Now, since Stephen Stearns' arrest, the public seems pretty certain of his guilt. The video evidence.
I'm worried that it will. Like, if it costs too much, I'm not going to be able to do it. Not until, like, after Christmas at least. But, yeah. And that would depend on how much, you know, I don't know that I'd be able to buy them. But I'm going to still try.
It appears highly incriminating, and he was the last person to be seen with Madeline. On the other hand, the public and the media are divided on Madeline's mother, Jen Soto. She's not charged with anything. Police are.
See, they're even saying it here, you know, that the public is divided on Jen Soto. So keep that in mind. Like, it, you know, everybody has their feelings about the situation. So I appreciate everybody being respectful.
Right now, but many people think there is no way that she didn't either suspect or even possibly know that something was going on, since this was happening under her own roof and he was sleeping at times alone with her daughter. Let's watch a bit of her police interview where she pleads her case and her innocence to law enforcement.
When you guys interviewed me and when you guys showed me the picture of her, I believed the sexual stuff, but I didn't want to believe that he had done anything evil to her. I'm like, no, what if he did this stuff fine, but what if she's still missing out there? What if somebody took her? I still wanted to believe I believed him. I believed his whole story. So I was just like, I kept repeating that part. I'm just like, what if she did get dropped off? What if she got abducted? What if she's missing? But that was me assuming that you guys had the wrong guy. I wanted to think he was a good guy still, but clearly he's not. If I knew anything, I promise you, I would tell you. Like, I am willing to take a lie detector test, whatever the you want, but I don't know anything. He's never mentioned anything. I've never seen any signs. I tried watching her like a hawk. I thought I was doing a good job, but I wasn't. I was oblivious to everything. 4 years?
Minimum. That's just how that far back the cloud goes. And I find it hard to believe for me that you were so worried about how many pills she took at night, but not where she slept or what relationship she was. His interest in her.
I thought we were all safe. I thought because in that he hadn't shown me anything so far. Like, everything seems fine. Like, he seems like he treated her like
he treats you. And
that part right there made, like I said earlier when we were playing this off of my video, that made my heart drop to my stomach. And I got nauseous. Because I imagine that's exactly what happened. He treated Maddie like he treated Jen. Exactly the same.
His mind. So now he's in jail because of what we found on his phone, not because somebody came forward and reported that he was abused.
No, I know.
She's not old enough to consent. She's not old enough to have a thought process to even want anything that was happening to her. It's abuse.
Where do we take her?
I'm going blank. I have no idea.
I feel like you're becoming emotional right now. I feel like you want to tell us.
No, if I knew what to tell you, I would tell you. If I had the truth, I would tell you. I don't know anything.
This is part of a problem. You did so many things and you never questioned it.
I didn't suspect him.
How can we believe some of the stuff that you're telling us or believe that you don't know.
I don't know how to say it. I mean, I guess I'm stupid and gullible and very trustworthy, but I didn't think he'd be the type to do anything like this. I didn't doubt.
Why Jen Soto denying she had any knowledge of the abuse? What'd you think? Does she seem credible? Which brings us to our next question in this investigation. What did Jen Soto actually know? Was she hiding something from investigators, saying, I don't know anything? Let's bring back our guests. Joining us in Orlando, Florida, investigative reporter for WFTV, Shannon Butler, and former homicide prosecutor and current co-host of True Crime MTN on YouTube, Melba Pearson. Shannon, you're a resident expert here.
So evidently she has a YouTube channel too, and they just mentioned that. So if you guys want to go check that out, please do.
What's going on with, is mom cleared here, or is this an ongoing investigation?
Investigators told us very early on in this case that they just didn't believe that she knew what was going on, that they couldn't find any evidence that she knew. And they said very early on to us that she was not going to be charged in this case. Now, things could change if they find something else, but as it stands right now, Jen Soto is not a suspect and is basically cleared when it comes to what happened to her daughter.
Now, this is from, I'm just checking to see when this was put out. Maybe. Okay. From 2 days ago. So again, 2 days ago, they stated that as of right now, it appears that Jen did not know and that she's not being charged and that she's not a suspect. And they're saying as of 2 days ago, it appears that she did not know anything. So that's all we know about that right now, anyway.
Buy that, Melba?
Nope.
Why not?
Because basically, first of all, I think it's the type of scenario where there were signs, and she probably had a gut instinct that something wasn't right, but she turned a blind eye, and she didn't follow that mother's gut instinct saying that her child is in danger, because maybe she wanted the relationship to work, maybe she was lonely, whatever the case may be, but she definitely put aside any concerns that she had, and at the end of the day, she sent her child to sleep with a grown man. Period. End of story. Listen, and she talked about how they're in.
So even these two people are disagreeing on this. So again, don't feel alone on either side about this situation, because I mean, a lot of people are torn about her possible involvement or not possible have known, you know what I mean?
Intimate life was very vanilla, and that he had requested certain things of a sexual nature that she didn't want to do, etc. And knowing all this, you then send your 13-year-old daughter to go sleep in that man's bed. Like, listen, there's no charge for being a crap mom, but she's a crap mom. Period. End of story. Now, could she be charged with child neglect? Possibly. But again, it's a matter of the evidence to be able to substantiate that charge. And I'm not quite sure that it's there. But at the end of the day, she's going to have to live with the fact that she let her child basically be molested under her nose and then end up being murdered.
During her police interview, Jen Soto.
And remember that, I mean, if she really didn't know anything, then she's going to have to deal with that for the rest of her life. And that's a hard pill to swallow if she legitimately was on so many medications that she didn't know anything. Toxic, I hope the baby's okay.
Was pressured about her actions following Stern's arrest. Jen allegedly told Stern's father they needed to get him a lawyer. She claimed it was because they had the wrong suspect in her mind, a claim she made already after seeing the photo evidence that Stern sexually abused Madeline. Watch.
Have you talked to Chris about Stefan needing a lawyer?
Yeah.
When?
I think when you guys showed me the
Abellis, me too. I changed my mind about it a lot too. I don't know. I question it a lot, like whether she knew or whether she really didn't. I don't know either.
The photos.
So we showed you photos of Stephen raping. And
No.
the first thought you had was to ask his father if he should get a lawyer?
No. I saw a picture. I didn't see the rape. I didn't know she was getting raped until yesterday. I saw the picture of the oral sex happening. And I knew that was true, right? That's evidence. That's for real. That's happening. But I kept thinking, they're going... I don't know why I can't tell you why my brain...
See, this is telling me that she's lying right now, and she's trying to come up with a legitimate sounding excuse for a lie, the lie that she didn't know anything. That's what her body language, her stuttering, and trying to come up with what to tell this officer that sounds legitimate as to why she didn't know what was going on. But that's just me. Again, I'm just little old me over here in my little corner of YouTube. I'm not detective or anything like that. So I don't know. That's just what
I kept thinking, no, he didn't kill her. Not that he didn't kill her, but she's still missing. She's still out there. She was taken. Yes, he's done this to her, and that's not okay. But I swore she was still, I felt in my body she was still alive. She was still out there. I told Chris to get him a lawyer because I felt like you guys were chasing the wrong person. But you weren't. You're not.
We showed you a picture. The picture you saw, she was giving a to a grown man. And you told his dad to get him a lawyer.
Investigators going hard there. Shannon Butler, what can you tell us about Jen Soto?
I'm bipolar too. I don't take medication I take natural, like a holistic medication. I'm bipolar too, and I don't see myself like allowing a grown man to sleep in the bed with one of my children. But again, we're all different. She might have seen things a different way or legitimately thought that there was no harm in it. I don't know.
So, as her past, what's her occupation, et cetera, et cetera.
Both Stephen Stearns and Jen Soto have been a little bit of a mystery as this process has gone along, mostly because the stories didn't always add up. There's still confusion of whether or not Stephen Stearns ever worked at Disney. Some people say that's where they met him. Disney says he never worked here. The same is true for Jen Soto, because when she does this interview, she talks about how she went to bed because she was starting a new job, but there was some confusion about what these jobs really were. She, according to investigators and to some of the interviews with people she knew, she really leaned on Stephen Stearns, it seemed, to take care of Madeline Soto. So there's a lot of anger about what kind of mother she was.
Bellis, my throat is okay. It's actually feeling better, and I need to get to work on this other video. I didn't want to sound different, because I might scare people away with my scratchy throat. They might not want to come hang out with us here if I made a video where my throat's all scratchy, but it can't be any worse than the unedited video I threw out the other day. So thank you for asking.
From the public here, they said that she often used drugs. She was on medication. She slept a lot. When you listen to interviews with the roommates and with the family, she just seemed a little bit absent in the care of her daughter. And now, given the situation, I think people would agree that is true. But it's a little bit strange. It's not very clear about what she did. She went to work. We know that. But because the stories are so unclear, we're a little unclear about her.
Yeah, the whole thing is unclear.
Exactly. I think that's where a lot of people are at.
Her reaction, Melba, with that, she sees that photo And then when confronted with it, she says, "Oh, we need to get him a lawyer."
Right.
And then detectives are like, "We just showed you a picture of that happening, oral sex, basically your daughter." And she's like, "Whoa, I didn't know anything about the rape at that time." I mean, it boggles your mind.
I think that again is where a lot of people are at with this. Like, excuse me, ma'am, what? Like, I don't remember. I just highlighted the comment. We all need Jen to get her ish together, talking about the sexual stuff wasn't evil. Excuse me, what? Yeah, Dawn, I'll tell you a story. Dawn says bipolar has different levels. If you've taken lithium for it and jumped in an hour from laughing hysterically to bawling inappropriately, you're in bad shape. I am bipolar, and they gave me lithium, and my oldest daughter was 2 years old, and I took it. It takes a while to get built up in your system. I think I took it for it was either 2 weeks or a month, and I could not stay awake. And I went back to the doctor and I said, look, I can't take this. Like, I stopped taking it abruptly, which is something you're never supposed to do when you're on lithium. And I said, I can't take this. I can't stay awake. I can't watch my child. I don't want it. Keep it. Yeah, they don't, I don't mess with that mess. And she was on lithium. So again, I don't know. Yeah, but there are different levels to bipolar for sure.
Completely. And again, I mean, there's no license for being a parent, right? There's no guidebook or anything like that. But there are some basic things. Like, number one, you don't let your child just sleep anywhere with anyone, right? And yes, you've brought this man into your house, but you still have to watch your child. And at the end of the day, you sent her to go sleep in the bed with him alone. That's just not normal behavior. And that to me does not make sense. And then on top of that, you see a photo and your first instinct is to be like, oh yeah, let's get him a lawyer. Let's continue to protect him. There doesn't seem to be any domestic violence in this situation, because that would be my first gut instinct. Like, oh, is he manipulating her? Something along those lines. But no, she seems perfectly fine. She just seems maybe desperate to have a relationship. You know, I'm not a psychologist or psychiatrist, but it seems to be that desperation to stay in this relationship and just believe that this guy is wonderful when he's clearly not, and the evidence is in your face. So it's just very disturbing all around, and I'm just heartbroken for Madeline, because she deserved way better than this.
Absolutely. What a
And
horrible.
early on in this case,
Yeah.
investigators had told us during those interviews that they felt that she was much more upset about what was happening to Stephen Stearns and what he was facing than she was about the information about her daughter. And it was really, really disturbing for those early investigators in this process to see the reaction on that. And they just, from very early on in this, could not figure it out. I mean,
Dawn says, can you speak on what constantly changing your meds would be like? I have dysthymia and complex PTSD, but my son and aunt were both bipolar and different. Yeah. Actually, that's why I started taking holistic medication, is because they kept changing my medication, and it'll put you, every time you change your medication, it throws you like into either a high or a low. So bipolar people, like, you know, normal people have an emotion level, you know, they're pretty normal, and, you know, if they get happy, they're happy. If they get sad, they're sad. Bipolar people are not normal. Like, you either, like, I could be up for 3 days cleaning the house, so happy, and then like later that week I could be in bed for a week and not even able to stay awake. That's what happens with bipolar people. And you get on medication and they have to try different ones, and during this time period while your medications are changing, it makes it worse. It makes it to where you're going to have really high highs and really low lows, until they find the medication that's going to level you out. And when it levels you out, your emotions are messed up. Like, you don't ever get really, really happy, and you don't ever get really, really sad. You're just like a zombie. That's why I switched to holistic medications. I don't do the pharmaceuticals anymore for that type of stuff. I'm still on one pharmaceutical medication that I have to go to the doctor about every month, but that's it. And so it could, I mean, and again, being bipolar, I could understand some of it, but again, I'm bipolar, and I don't see myself ever thinking it's okay for a child to sleep in the bed with a man. I don't think I could see images like she saw and want to get somebody a lawyer. I've stated before, if I saw images like that after the shock wore off, they'd have to tase me, because I'm going to get that mug. I'm going to get him, and I'm going to hurt him, and it's not going to be good. They would have had to tase me. So it's different, I guess, but everybody's different. Again, it depends on how her medications made her react to these things, her type of bipolar, all of that.
I mean, this is your daughter. You know what has happened because of video evidence, not because somebody told you, you saw it. And she was very, very upset about Stephen Stearns. They felt more than Madeline said.
No, it's unbelievable. We'll get a break. Our guests are going to stay with us as we examine the final question of the hour investigation. It is about Jen's current legal situation. What is derivative use immunity? That's what she gets.
Do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? Okay, thank you. All right, this is an investigative subpoena.
This case.
So it's going to talk about her immunity deal, so we're going to get some more information on that. Toxic, I don't know what happened or if it was the comment that I read, but I'm sending you love, hun. I don't know what's going on. Yeah, they'd have had to inject me with benzos too. They'd have had to been like, "Itch, sit your mother ass down right now. You are in a police station, ma'am. Stop it." That's what would have happened with me. Because, nope. Oh, shit. Hold on.
My daughter, just please bring her home. I just hope you're okay, Maddie. I hope you're safe. I hope you're not hurt. I just hope she's okay.
That was Jen Soto in an interview with WFTV just days after Madeline disappeared. It's just the beginning.
Oh my God, Toxic. I hope that your baby's okay. Oh my God. I'm so sorry to hear that. Y'all say a prayer because the baby has RSV. That's not good. It's like chest congestion and snot and mucus, but for babies, it can actually, it can be really, really bad. So say a prayer for her, please.
Beginning of this investigation, Jen Soto has spoken a lot about her daughter's death, most of the time during a police interview. But will any of her statements come back to haunt her? Take a listen to this interview that she did on April 18th, 2024, where the detective describes the type of immunity that she's been granted.
Do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? Yeah. Okay, thank you. All right. This is an investigative subpoena, so you've been compelled to be here. And in our country, under the 5th Amendment and 14th Amendment is applied to you under the Florida Constitution as well, you cannot be forced to incriminate yourself. So anything you say today can't and won't be used against you unless you just don't tell us the truth. And I've already explained to your attorney, Mr. Bark, whether or not you...
And she lied in this interview. This is on my page, and I won't go through the whole thing, but there's parts where I was like, oh, she just lied.
Made any inconsistent statements in the past, that is dirt under the bridge, and either a misdemeanor was committed or it wasn't. But we're not going to be using that as a basis of some sort of perjury by false statement, because those other charges wouldn't be perjury anyways. So the most important thing today is to tell the truth. I also explained derivative use immunity, which means if you said that there was a gun, and obviously there's no gun in this case, buried in your attorney's yard, we couldn't go dig up that gun if you told us that, oh yeah, there's the gun that was used is right there. We wouldn't be able to do that. We would have to show that we learned all those things independently from this interview.
That brings us to the final question of the investigation. What exactly is derivative use immunity, and how can Jen Soto use it to her advantage, possibly in this as we move forward? Still with us, investigative reporter Shannon Butler and former homicide prosecutor Melba Pearson. So is she off the hook just because of this immunity, or explain the parameters of it? Melba.
Sorry, was that? Oh,
Yo, sorry.
okay. I wasn't sure. Okay, so the parameter, so derivative use immunity is basically what we used to call, when I was a prosecutor, queen for a day. So you come in, you tell everything that you know, as long as you tell the truth, you're good. Now, in terms of the use of that information, the police now cannot use the information you gave them to then figure out if they can file charges against you. It has to be separate information that they developed during the course of the investigation that showed that you were a person of interest for whatever the case may be. But it can't be tied to the things that you said to law enforcement at the time of your sworn statement. So she can use this to basically clear herself, clear her name, unburden her heart, and just share everything that she knows so that the officers can go ahead with the investigation and continue.
Okay, Kara, thank you so much for being here, and I appreciate you hanging out with us today. I hope everything goes okay with the car. Man, I'm worried about Toxic. I really hope that the baby's okay, and a lot of people are saying prayers for you if you hear this.
To be able to move forward with the prosecution of the defendant as it stands. Now, is she going to tell the truth completely? Is she going to completely unburden herself? That remains to be seen. But legally, she's protected for what she says during that time period to law enforcement.
Sharon Butler, has she given them anything of value? Has she contributed to this investigation at all?
Not really. I mean, she seemed to be pretty clueless about what's going on. I know the public doesn't believe that. Melba certainly doesn't believe that. People do not.
You asked if the coins. Okay, so I know that she sent the message to Stefan asking about the baby coins for us, and that is actually, I'll see if I can pull up a picture of those while we continue listening, because I have one here on my computer to give you an example. But you're asking if the coins mean she was means that she knew what was going even though she was drugged? Is that what you're asking me? Here's an example of the coins. I'm getting them pulled up and I'll show you. Hold on. I'll have to pull the interview back up in just a second. So this is the coins you're referencing. Let me hide your comment. I don't know if y'all can hear me. It's saying I have an audio issue, but that's the coins you're referencing, and you're asking did Maddie know what was going on, even though she was being rugged, because she asked him about buying these coins and saying we need to get these coins. Is that what you're asking me? Let me get this interview pulled back up now that I've showed y'all that. I'm going to show them in the video I do with all the paperwork and all the charges, like the police narratives and all of that. As soon as this, yep, I'm going to continue this.
Not believe that she was that clueless, but that's what they said they found during this investigation. So there wasn't really anything, there was no reason really not to give her this, because she wasn't providing them anything anyway. And I think their theory is later on, if we find something, it doesn't count in what we did here. And so they needed to get her statements. They were trying to, get as much as they could on him. And they just didn't think that there was anything they could get her on. So they didn't make her a suspect, and they didn't need those statements. So this is.
Dodd said yes. So that's an interesting theory, because if she asked him to buy the coins for them, then yeah, that would tell me she knew. So was she being rugged? Did she? I mean, I don't know. That's a good question to ask. I don't know. I don't know if she knew she was being rugged, if she wasn't being rugged. I don't know.
This is why she is where she is right now.
Melba, one of two things here with this woman. Either she is just really out to lunch on many levels, or she did know something, and she's being uncooperative. And if you look at the different elements that have come forward, when she was shown that photo, her reaction was, Stefan needs a lawyer, not let's kill that SOB because of what he's done to my daughter. I can't believe this, what you're showing me. There was none of that. And again, it could be one of the other. To Shannon's point, they think that she's just didn't pick up on anything. Is that plausible from your standpoint, being a former prosecutor?
Listen, nothing's impossible. But at the end of the day, you notice signs about your child. If your child is being molested, there's going to be a change in their behavior. They're going to be acting possibly in a more sexualized manner. They may be withdrawn. They may be angry. You know, there's certain.
That was my issue. Like, was there no signs in the household that you didn't, there was no signs that you picked up on? Nobody was acting different. Nobody was acting weird. Like, he didn't ever say anything out of the way. I don't see that happening.
Certain indicators there that there's a problem. So normally that would be your trigger to be like, wait a minute, let me inquire more and make sure my child is okay. But I still come back to the fact that she sent her 13-year-old daughter to sleep with a grown man.
Shannon, she
Period,
was
end of
under,
story.
yeah, she was under medication, was she not? She was taking meds?
Yeah, she was pretty clear in her interviews that she did take meds to help her go to sleep, and then investigators had told us there was some other substances along the way. So I guess that's part of the theory here, that that's what was happening most of the time. But I know what people think, and I take a lot of criticism when we report this story about questioning how she didn't know. I mean, most of us are parents, right? How she didn't know, how come she didn't see any signs? I take so much criticism over that, but that's what investigators say, and that's what we're sticking to.
And hey, boy, I feel bad for her if indeed that is the truth, because she's lost her daughter, and she probably feels horribly guilty. I'm Ted Rollins, filling in for Vinnie Politan. We're going to keep digging for answers as this investigation.
Okay. I'm going to pull up real quick. It's probably not going to pull it up there. But Toxic had sent me the phone call from between Steppen and his dad. So I'm going to try to pull that up for us to listen to before I go for the day. I had to email it to myself, so let me get it pulled up through my email, and then I'll share it with you guys. Okay. Alrighty, hold on. Let me get it where y'all can see it. The way it pulled it up is like I'm gonna have to flip back and forth. Hold on. I apologize. The way it pulled it up, I'll have to flip back and forth between this and the comment section. So I'll be reading your comments as I flip back and forth. So this is from CourtTV. I think it's 2 weeks ago, and it's titled Raw Steppen Stearns Jail Call with His Parents in the Madeline Soto Unalivened. And it says Steppen Stearns Jail Call.
$1.13. The cost of this call will be 21 cents for the first minute and 21 cents for each additional minute, excluding
Jules?
taxes and other applicable fees. The time limit is 15 minutes. Press 0 to continue or... Hello, you have a call at no expense to you from
Steppen Stearns.
inmate at
Osceola County Corrections Department.
To accept this call, press or say 5. To refuse this call will be recorded and subject to monitoring at any time. Thank you for using IC Solutions. You may begin speaking now.
So, yeah, and I didn't remember that from before. They state that this call could be recorded and is subject to monitoring at any time. So that tells us that he knows these calls are being recorded.
Hey, where the hell you been?
I've been trying to call. They've had us on lockdown so often. Every time I've asked it, we've been on the code 5 lockdown.
Okay.
Which means I've been unable to call. I've been trying to call all weekend, too.
So you've been in lockdown all this time?
Off and on, yes. On the days that I've asked, we've happened to be on lockdown, which means either an incident has happened or they're just so understaffed that they have to lock everyone down.
probably more to do with the staffing.
Okay. How you been?
Well, you know, had the world's shittiest birthday present, so.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah. And then you didn't call, so I'm
I think Maddie had the world's shittiest birthday present. You asshole. Pardon my French.
assuming because of changes that they prevented you from calling.
No, they're actually moving me around a lot, shuffling back and forth, so I was having to get my phone privileges jockeyed back and forth, which takes a little while. And then, like I said, the days that I was asking, we happened to be on lockdown on those days. So it's just been inconvenient.
Okay.
Very inconvenient timing. And then we were on lockdown all weekend. I wanted to call my mom's birthday. I tried to call yesterday. I tried to call Saturday, and there's no go anytime. So. But I've been wanting to call. How have you been?
I'm trying to put this on speaker.
Yeah.
I'm trying to put this on speaker. Okay.
How have you been?
So they've been on lockdown, which is not abnormal.
Can you hear me?
Good. Can you hear us?
Yes. Is Mom there with you?
Yeah. Can you hear me?
What's up?
Stephanie, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Is Mom with you?
Hang on a second.
Okay.
All right, can you hear me?
Yes.
Stephanie,
You can hear me? Yes, can you hear me?
yes. Okay, I got some speaker.
Okay. Is Mom there?
Yes, mom's with me now.
Okay. Happy birthday, belated birthday, Mom, and happy belated Mother's Day.
Hi, sweetheart. I was so hoping to hear from you. I'm so glad I'm hearing from you now.
Yeah, I'm sorry I wasn't able to call you all weekend. They had us on lockdown, so no one was able to do anything.
Were you expecting these charges?
No.
The murder charge.
Oh, well, you know you're not.
Okay.
So this is interesting. He says he was not expecting to have the unaliving charge. That's interesting. Abella says, can you hear me now? Remember that guy, that cell phone commercial where the guy would be in the swamp? I feel you, Abella.
So you got blindsided by that?
Yeah. Obviously, you know, it's not true. You know, I never would have wanted her gone for any reason, so, you know, premeditated
Oh my God.
first degree is kind of a dick punch.
Oh my God, y'all. He just said I would have never wanted her gone in any way, shape, or form. So premeditated unaliving in the first degree is kind of a you know, kick in the nuts. Are you serious? Like, so this is saying that I don't know. I don't know if he's saying that like he didn't premeditate it or he didn't do it. This is interesting. Poor me is all I hear. Okay, pity party. Yep. Okay. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
No, I was wondering if you had any updates or anything.
Nope, we haven't heard a thing. Just, you know, speculation that she's been
Hiding
put in an institution and hiding in an institution.
at her lawyer's request.
Yeah.
I mean, are you cooperating with police about her participation in any of this stuff?
There's been no opportunity for me to cooperate with anything. As I understand, the police keep saying that I'm uncooperative, but they haven't asked me anything to cooperate with, so whatever that means.
So your attorney isn't approaching them and saying, my client would like to speak with you?
No, my attorneys are pretty much saying to keep my mouth shut until the trial starts.
Well, okay.
Okay. I don't know why they were going to wait.
And again, that's what most lawyers are going to tell you to do, to keep your mouth shut until you go to court. I'm just putting that out there. Hey, Darlene Johnson, thank you so much for being here. We're listening to this phone call. And that'll be it for me today, but I appreciate you coming in.
wait till the trial, but that's their business, not mine.
They don't want anything to hurt my chances.
Yep, understand. Okay.
Hey, what was Joey's last name?
Beltry?
Yeah, Veltri.
Joey Beltry? Beltry?
Beltry.
Beltry or Beltry?
Veltri with a V, like victory.
V.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
So yeah, it's basically, well, obviously this confirms that they're artificially inflating everything up as high as they can possibly do it.
So he states they're artificially inflating everything up as high as they can possibly do it, meaning they're like basically fluffing the charges up. And I wanted to let y'all know that I keep highlighting short comments so that we can read the captions. I'm not trying to skip the longer ones. Yeah, what about the 35,000 CP pics? Exactly. Trixie said he would deny a CSAM photo even if it showed his own peen.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah.
So I don't know
what
the plan is there. If they're just trying to scare me into pleading down, or I don't know.
Okay, darling.
No, they're not.
Okay.
They're just trying to hurt me as much as possible.
Are you able to share the Saturday night before you left for Kissimmee? You were pretty upset about something. Did it have to do anything with Kissimmee and the events that took place the next couple of days?
No.
Yeah.
No, I was just stressed out about money and job and everything like that.
Yeah, Dawn.
Some woman got on a YouTube thing and said that you weren't even at the party.
Party?
Yeah, her birthday party.
Yeah, I haven't gotten there yet. I went up there Sunday evening and got there after she was done at her party.
Oh, okay.
And we were very happy that I was there. We were very happy that the three of us were together. It was shaping up to be a great week and a great visit. You know, there's no reason for anything to happen that happened.
Is there some explanation of I came up Wednesday morning, met you at the hotel early in the morning, and is there some explanation why you left and went where you went?
I was driving around.
You were not, sir. No, you weren't. You went somewhere very specific and did something very specific, sir.
Okay. Understood you were driving around, but they know where you were driving around.
Yeah. Well,
and we know.
Okay. I had wanted to grab a few things and get my ducks in a row, kind of prepare myself for whatever was coming, but I couldn't find what I was looking for.
Okay.
And then I ended up just kind of driving around aimlessly.
Okay.
That's interesting that he can't answer as to that sounded like a lie because he's like, okay. And he's like, trying to come up with an explanation as to why he left the hotel. Abella says, liar, you were there earlier. Exactly. His dad's responses do seem off, but we have to remember that they're recording the phone call and that they both know that. Yeah, Darlene, he's not. We went over the jail files and talked about that, and that, yeah, it could be because he thought the inmates could attack him. Dawn says that this is where he said he was going to unalive himself, I think. Okay. So again, he gets, if he said it right there and they cut it out, he gets asked a question he can't really answer, doesn't want to answer, and notice how it's like, oh, I'm going to unalive myself, or I wasn't the first one, like trying to change the subject. Hey, Indy, welcome back. All right, I'm going to hide this and keep playing the video so y'all can read the words.
I mean, you asked me to come up and we hardly spent 35 minutes the entire time I was there throughout the entire day. And it's like, I wasn't sure why I was there, and then I was caught off guard by what happened later that afternoon, and obviously haven't seen you since.
Yeah, well, I just felt like I needed an ally there.
Well,
I felt like I needed an ally there. Like Jen wasn't your ally in this. I mean, again, very telling.
you know, I wish you had come to me and talked to me about some stuff, and maybe I could have helped you out in some way, giving you some advice. But certainly, under the extenuating circumstances, what was later discovered obviously couldn't help you any further than what had already taken place. So the most logical thing would be to have, you know, face up to it and have a conversation with the appropriate authorities or get an attorney or something. But be that as it may.
Yeah, well, okay.
Yeah.
Well, we got a copy of your birth certificate for Sheila Marino and for your case. We're trying to get hospital records from the TBI, that Sarasota Memorial says you were never a patient there, so that was ridiculous because we know you were.
Yeah. And were you able to find my social security card?
So that's another clue. I'm assuming they're talking about, sorry y'all, I had forgot to switch back. I'm assuming they're talking about the TBI or the traumatic brain injury from when he was younger, and they're saying that they don't have the records, but that they absolutely did. But we got to think about the time period too. Like it might have been before they started keeping stuff on computers, or anything could have happened to those records. So that could explain why they didn't have them. Eek, I'm not sure. Love.
Yes.
Good. I presume it was probably in that mouse toy box with everything?
I don't know.
No, it wasn't.
It's in
No, I don't recall where it was, but it wasn't there. But
I don't remember if you had confirmed or not. Were you able to find my watch?
No, we weren't.
Yeah.
So
there was no popcorn box.
Little
silver mouse
we already
toy.
had your social security card, so why did you think we needed? I already knew your number. I don't. Why did you think we need to find the card?
Just in case I was going to need it in the future.
Okay. Well, we have that.
How long I'm going to be here, if or when I'll ever be released, or if you guys are going to be around at that point. But birth certificate, social security card might be things I'll need in that case.
Well, the penalty for the crimes you have been charged with carry a minimum 40-year sentence. So obviously we're going to be gone. Rick will be gone. We'll all be gone. I mean, we're sad about that, obviously, because there won't be anybody here for you when you come out.
If he does, remember Florida is a death penalty state. You said that's what you were telling me about earlier. Okay, thank you. Dawn said they say he's a genius, no doubt. Jail is his future. Yep.
Yeah, and I'll be lucky if I have another 40 years left in me either, so.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess everything sticks.
I wish there was a way that, you and I can have a conversation, all of us could have a conversation to understand what's taken place, how this came about, how you arrived here, because it would help us better understand the situation, because we're at a loss for understanding how all this came about. I mean, we're just totally baffled.
Well, I didn't start it.
Right there. Oh, I didn't start it. Like he said, how all this came about. Oh, I didn't start it. So is he talking about like maybe not referencing what he was personally doing to Maddie, but maybe like the unaliving? Like, oh, I didn't start the unaliving. I just held her in my arms as she died and my heart died with her, like the poem said, and then got at trigger warning and then put her body where it was found. Like, is that what he's saying? When he's referencing I didn't start it, is he talking about the pictures? These are all questions that I have. We'll find out in trial.
Oh, you didn't start it, but you participated in it, which is just as bad as not starting it, but that's for another day. Again, I don't know if we'll...
details or anything, but, you know, I mean, if you'd like to schedule a visit with me or something, maybe we can find some way to talk.
I don't know. I think we're always going to be recorded, so there won't be an opportunity to do that. Now, we have to make arrangements for you to sign off on a power of attorney so we can do something with this car.
Yeah.
And I would have to bring a document over. They won't even let me see you. I would just hand it to the classification officer. He would bring it in, you sign it, they would notarize it, give it back to me, and I would leave.
Okay. I think I just got the 1 minute warning.
Okay.
So yeah. Give them whatever you need, and I'll sign whatever I need to sign. In the meantime, I'll try to call back in the next couple of days and we'll talk some more. If you wouldn't mind putting a little more money in my commissary as well.
All right, I can't do much stuff because we are really, when I say dead ass broke, I mean dead ass broke, but I'll do what I can.
Okay, I appreciate it.
That could change, but right now, for the next 30 days, we are definitely in lockdown.
Yeah, I understand.
Okay, all right. I'll try to get over there within the week to get the POA taken care of.
Okay, there's a 15-minute cooldown before I can call back. I'll see if I can call back again. If not, I'll try to call back in the next couple of days.
Okay, thank you. All right.
Okay. All right, I love you. Bye.
Bye.
So, dang, I restarted it. Hold on. So that's interesting. What did he not start? Again, is he talking about the CSAM stuff, or is he talking about the actual act of unaliving her? Indie Girl says, I feel like the parents are trying to understand to get some sort of closure before they go. That's sad to think about, but probably accurate. Yeah, no doubt. Okay. Darlene said, is he trying to say Maddie came in onto him first? He's disgusting. Right. I don't understand. I wish I could get more context to what he's saying he didn't start first. And I don't think we will until we have trial. But I'm going to be keeping tabs on all of that. And I'm going to work on getting this document out for you guys. Dawn says, I think that's exactly what he's saying. Eek said he's a classic narcissist. Yeah. Right? Eek, exactly. Even if she did come on to him, he's an adult and should have effing known better, right? Joy, the trial is going to be, from what I heard, I think pre-trial is May, and then the actual trial is supposed to take place September. So, a little less than a year from now. Thank you, everybody, for being here today. Oh, Dawn says, I don't think there will be a trial. He might plead. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know, you guys. Oh, thank you, Joy. I hope that, Toxic, I hope your baby feels better. And I do want us to remember the victims in this case and say a prayer for them tonight. Thank you, everybody, for being here. Thank you so much, Abellis, for gifting 10 memberships. You're so awesome. And, I will be back tomorrow around 1:30. I hope you all have the best day ever. And I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.
Listen up, I gotta tell you, there is something you should